Just do it! Just watch Sam Wilson. And stay strong. It's time for you to get up and... Hey, what's up guys? It's Sam here. Hi, I guess. Yeah, it's like a 10-minute delay from when you were supposed to start this. But we're going. It's very windy. We might have some rain. I feel like might have to cut some of this out, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, welcome to Full Race Reactions from Las Vegas. And here we go.
I know it's really windy out there right now. How are you going to take these first couple laps and take into account that wind?
Well, we know we got a caution coming at lap 30, but we want to keep our track position early and just, you know, a little caution there that first lap, but still got to be able to keep the track position. So we'll be aggressive until we figure out what's going on here.
We also have competition caution on lap 30. If you don't know what that means that we will have a caution that is scheduled for lap 30 because of weather. We need to check all the tire crap or whatever. I don't know why to do it, but yeah.
Different set of challenges. Your setup is different. The speeds are a lot faster. Tires are a lot different. Your pit strategy is going to be completely different. Or I think your gutsy call could potentially come into play, not on how early you pit here in Las Vegas, but in how you pit. I think a 2-tire call or a 4-tire call could potentially be the one that wins this race. And those are my Kobalt tools in the race. Looking forward to seeing you at Victory Lane in Kobalt Tools 400.
Field on the backstretch getting ready to race. A blustery day on pit road where our NASCAR Fox All-Star pit crew awaits. Here's Matt Yoakum.
Mike, we've documented the challenges for the drivers on the racetrack due to the wind, but it's also a huge hindrance here on pit road. Now, due to the high wind conditions, teams have had to take down their high pitboard sign, which drivers use to visually guide themselves into their pit stall. Now it's going to be more on the shoulders of the spotter and the crew chief to count their driver into their stall. Advantage, Matt Kenseth. He has the very first stall off turn 4. Vince Welsh?
It's been a challenging weekend for Las Vegas' own Kyle Busch. They just haven't been able to get the front end of the car to turn and ended up qualifying 23rd. But in the second practice yesterday, they gleaned some information from teammate Carl Edwards, and suddenly that 18 car came alive. Still, he's going to have to work to do coming from deep in the pack. But remember, when Kyle won this race in 2009, he started at the rear of the field. He's done it once before. We'll see if Las Vegas' own can do it again today. Jamie Little?
Well, Vince, one guy to watch today is Carl Edwards. After crashing in qualifying on Friday, he was forced to a backup car. Well, we just heard from him, and he said this backup car is better than the primary. His crew chief, Dave Rogers, told me that this competition caution at lap 30 plays right into their hands. Because they're starting in the back, Carl doesn't have to think about tire management. He can just push it all the way and gain as many spots as possible. Larry Mack?
Yeah, Jamie, I think a big story today could be speeding on pit road. The first 2 races of this year, we've only had 5 pit road speeding penalties total. If you look at the last 3 races here at Las Vegas, with the way you come off the racetrack and get on the pit road at 45 miles per hour, we've had 21 pit road speeding penalties. Could be a big story today. Now let's take a look at our race analysis. 267 laps, 400 miles, fuel window 50 to 56 laps, and going to the rear backup cars, Jamie McMurray and Carl Edwards, and you see grip level there, 3.5. Using a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the most, 1 being the least, we're talking about the grip level. Atlanta was more like a 1. Las Vegas is more like 3.5. This is a sample of the surface at Atlanta Motor Speedway like last week, and Las Vegas this week, a lot more grip. I want you to relate it to the cheese grater in the kitchen. The Atlanta Motor Speedway is like the coarse side of the cheese grater on the tire. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, more like the fine side, not near as hard on the tires.
Wind affecting team radios, creating static, and there is a front line just now passing over.
Something tells me we should not be getting ready to go racing right now.
70 degrees ambient. Track temperature also 70 degrees and wind gusts expected up to
and there's water on the lens.
miles an hour. That's what Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s team was discussing.
I mean, there's water on the lens.
We're not going to have the overhead sign like I talked about, so we'll just have to make sure to do a good job on the
balls.
Loose wrappers and papers blowing around. And now it seems
Uh-oh.
the few drops we've had have abated, and perhaps this brief little stormlet will move on.
Yeah, the debris certainly hasn't. It's moving fast, so it just blows right around the end of the speedway down here.
Something tells me we should not be racing.
You can see right there, these teams can't even keep their pit signs on the pit wall. It's going to be crazy with debris.
Well, let's have a look at today's Ford Performance Track Facts. Ford has 8 wins here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, most of all manufacturers. They won the first 3 races here in a row. 2 years ago, Brad Keselowski drove his Penske Ford to victory lane. Here in the Las Vegas desert, need I remind you, we're in the desert. It's
Look at
raining.
that.
What's wrong with this place? There's a lot wrong with it. Just a pit raindrops, folks. Not a... Mikey, you know something?
Well, you guys better bring it down to pit road.
For the long shots. I really do. I look at Austin Dillon, qualified 5th. I look at Eric Almirola, qualified 7th. I look at
Yeah, I think they're bringing him down to pit road.
12. The 2 rookies right there, Elliott and Blaney right together. I think this is going to be a good day for the long shots.
A little rain, a little water on the backstretch. That's why we're on hold. You saw some shots of some of our Fox NASCAR cameramen tethered to their positions in anticipation of the real gusty winds here. Better tether that umbrella too. There's Andy Mitchell atop the media center.
Well, guys, it looks like we have some rain.
Right there.
I thought we were going, but I guess not.
Fellas all around the track, and I want a special hello and welcome back to David Miller. We call him Pony. Down there in turn 1, his dad Charlie passed last week at the age of 87. So, Pony, we missed you in Atlanta. Glad to have you back, and condolences to you and your family.
If you think the race car drivers are the only brave ones out there, we've got these cameramans up there tethered in. It's going to be a really interesting set of storylines today with the race, the wind, the tires, the track surface that Larry McReynolds talked about, aerodynamics, the bumps, everything that is going on right now is creating a lot of drama.
I'm not sure. I'm not stopping the camera in case if we do go, but
NASCAR has an armada of track drying equipment out here. 2 vacuums, mostly used on pit road. 12 of the vaunted Air Titan track drying equipment. Those pickup truck mounted machines that flow a very concentrated jet of air from those silver metal tubes down onto the racetrack. And it kind of looks like a blow dryer squeegee, if you will, even though it doesn't exactly touch the racetrack, and 4 jet dryers at work.
Don't forget, when we were in Phoenix last year, the last time we were there, that race was shortened up by rain. Dale Jr. ended up winning it. And here we are today, a little more rain. And like someone told me last night, how in the world can it rain in Las Vegas?
Well, now, last week we were in Atlanta, a 1.5-mile quad oval. Before that, Daytona, 2.5-mile super speedway. Our first half-dozen racetracks are so diverse and so different. Each one presents a different challenge to the drivers.
I think the way the Sprint Cup schedule starts out, it's a great variety.
I like getting to race somewhere different every single week. It's nice to go to the West Coast for 3 weeks.
Good variety. It's a good indicator in the first 5 weeks of who's really going to be the players in 2016.
What a diverse bunch. There's Daytona, 2.5 miles, 31-degree banking. Atlanta, kind of a quad oval with very short straightaways. Here we are in Las Vegas with a long backstretch, about 1.5 miles. Phoenix, the Roval, the road course that's shaped like an oval. And then Auto Club Speedway, much like Michigan, 2 miles around, big sweeping front straightaway. And finally, the Paperclip, the half-mile Martinsville Speedway, 2 drag strips and 2 U-turns. Wow.
I never heard anybody call it a road
To
course.
me, this is what makes the Sprint Cup drivers the best in the world. They have the most diverse, and you heard them say, variety of racetracks. Well, you have to be that as a race car driver, too. Not only do you have to search around different lines at each track, you have to adapt yourself for all the different types of racetracks.
I just don't see how we're going right now.
Yeah, and you got those tracks in your mind. It's not like you got to go there and learn the track all over again. We race them every year. So you got that in your mind. When you leave a track like this, you go to Phoenix next week, a 1-mile racetrack, you hit the track, you know exactly what your marks are, where you want to go. They're picking the pace car up to 70 miles an hour, trying to keep a little heat in the racetrack as that front line is just moving over the speedway, and the high winds will help with the drying as well.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I was going to say. Not only is it helping with the drying, it's helping these clouds and these rain clouds get out of here. They move through as fast as we can see it coming.
When the cars come around, NASCAR will indicate 2 laps to go to green and see what feedback they get
2 to go
from
to
the
green.
drivers and teams. So it is, Jeff, it is an interactive process between the officials and the competitors.
It is. The drivers look on their windshield. They can tell if there's drops. Then they're also looking at the race surface. You have the pace car driver who's also seeing the race surface, and they are spotters all around this racetrack. So as they go around the racetrack, they can tell whether, and they'll lead back and forth just to get an idea of the grip level. Then they'll message back to their teams or to NASCAR and say, yeah, I think the track's ready to go.
2 to go. Madison Square Garden will be home to some of the biggest names and best teams in college basketball as they battle for a ticket to the big dance. It's the Big East tournament beginning Wednesday only on FS1. It continues through Saturday on FS1 and Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. All sponsored by Jeep Renegade. It's how we live. 4x4 effort. Hey, what's that bright light?
It's the sun.
It is.
I see the sun.
Now that's
talking
down.
about variety.
Yes.
We're getting every bit of
Well,
it.
that's to the south. There's this one big rain cloud that's now moving its way across the front straightaway off toward turn 3 and to the north. And when that's gone, blue skies.
And here's what I love right now. You've got 2 aggressive race car drivers on the front row. You've got really unique conditions. They're going to have to decide how aggressive do I want to get this car going and go through 1 and 2 to get that all-important track position that we know is going to be important today.
I think what you don't want to do is race off into the 3rd turn 2 or 3 wide. I think you're going to have to really be careful on this initial start because you don't know what the wind's going to do to the car the first couple of laps.
It's like Logano's checking, make sure there's no debris right before we get the 1 to go. He went up right behind the pace car. Now, maybe he's just having a little bit of fun, or somebody said there's some debris on your grill, and he went right up behind the pace car. And when you do that, it creates a pressure area that can swipe that debris clean.
1 to go. Lights are out atop the 2016 Toyota Camry XSE that leads the field. Kurt Busch and his team at the ready and then some.
Hi, brother. I'm proud of you, man. Glad you drive our stuff. Give hell today. 10-4, yes, sir. Thank you for a great car. Appreciate it, guys. On pit road, nice and smooth. One stop at a time, boys. Proud of all you guys.
Your crew chief, Tony Gibson, give him the whole team, and Kurt a little pep talk. Those guys are really getting along well right now.
That's the right crew chief, Tony Gibson, for Kurt Busch. He's a no-nonsense, old-school guy. He will tell Kurt, use your hands, not your mouth.
Yep, here's Rick Corelli, his spotter, former standout in NASCAR's Truck Series. He's their spotter up on the roof, began that conversation. And now we're ready to go. Kurt Busch, Joey Logano, Chevy Ford front row. Matt Kenseth's Toyota, Keselowski's Ford.
See Kurt Busch standing on the gas, spinning those rear tires. These cars have a lot of torque and power at low RPM, and it's really important to get as much heat in the tires before you take this green flag.
The anticipation of the start, Mike, is so cool.
3rd row, Dillon and Harvick in Chevrolets. 4th row, Almirola's Ford, Kane's Chevy, then a pair of Toyotas, Hamlin and Truex. That's your top 10 of 39 cars as they round turn 4 and address themselves to the starting line.
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
Anticipation high, fans on their feet, everybody's clapping. Looking forward to the start of this race. Flagman's got the flag in his hand. Honorary starter throws the green.
Muggity. Let's go racing, boys. And Danica.
Logano having to battle Matt Kenseth for 2nd as they come to the stripe.
I tell you, that 41 car turned good. They've been on it all weekend long. I mean, he qualified on the pole, set his lap record, and here he is. I mean, he tore out of there, and he's leading this race.
Darryl, I got some long odds for you.
Yes, sir.
The leader of lap 1 at Las Vegas has never gone to victory lane.
Can't come.
18 races. Maybe today we'll break that string.
Maybe Joey Logano knew that.
Kenseth and Logano fight for 2nd. Dillon 4th, Keselowski 5th, then Harvick, Kane, and Truex.
So far, no big signs of these strong winds up setting the race cars. I anticipated it to be a little bit more evident, but so far everybody's getting through there really clean.
Yeah, I think, Jeff, once that big rain cloud kind of blew through, the wind has actually settled a little. Watching the flag, the American flag on the back straightaway, it's looking pretty good. Average wind down 5 miles per hour for pre-race. I'm really interested to see how Austin Dillon in that 3 car does, as we see 3 wide racing right here in the middle of the pack right now. 2 rookies going at each other. And Ryan Blaney was trying to get around the outside and pass Jimmy Johnson in the 48. That didn't quite work for him. That might be a rookie move at this point in the race. Might want to save that for later. 4th place. Austin Dillon in the 3 has been really strong all weekend. He's attracted a lot of attention right now from Brad Keselowski. I just loved his attitude. I talked to him on Thursday after their test. He said he had Slugger and all the engine Slugger had his crew chief, all the engineers had just really put a lot of effort into this car this weekend.
You saw Brad Keselowski go to the bottom, really make a nice move underneath Austin Dillon. Doesn't seem like the top groove in 1 and 2 has come in quite yet, and sometimes it takes a little bit of rubber getting laid down the racetrack before that higher groove comes in.
Remember what we have said every week this season, how the leader cleans the track for everyone? Kurt Busch has picked something up on the nose of his number 41. Yeah, you see it there on the right side of the grill. There's big piece of trash all around. You see that right there on Kurt's grill. That's right in the opening.
We don't got a piece on the right side, gets the like a wrapper.
Water boils at 212, but not when it's under pressure. The boiling point's much higher. Exactly.
Yeah, I think he said 215 there, so it's going to have to go a lot higher than that. I don't know, maybe somebody already mentioned something to him about the debris, or he's already noticing it going up a few degrees.
I think with the spotters and the crew chiefs and everybody watching for debris today, I'm sure there's an awareness that as soon as he picked something up, they knew about it. 7 laps complete on a blustery day. Matt Yoakum.
Mike, you touched on the wind and how it has started to come down a little bit. Brad Keselowski asked his spotter Joey Meyer to keep him abreast of the flags and just when the wind picks up so it doesn't catch him off guard. And it's the benefit of having your spotter, also your private plane pilot. He knows all about wind.
Well, that's just frustrating. But yeah, guys, I do want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Tune in for Phoenix next week. I'll try to get this up by Tuesday, but it probably won't happen. But yeah. Yeah, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. Stay strong. Have a fantastic day today. And I will see you later. Stay strong.
Keselowski settles in 4th, 2 seconds behind the race lead.
You saw out the windshield there, Brad Keselowski. This great battle going on for second as Matt Gibbs is trying to get a big run on Joey Logano down this back straightaway. Now this is where that tailwind is going to come into effect. And you'll see right here, Matt's been running different lines. He goes to the outside trying to get a little clean air. Joey's picked up on that. He's moved up the racetrack to block him a little bit and actually hurt Matt some momentum. And here comes Keselowski.
Keselowski from 4th against the Toyota of Kenza. Little wiggle entering the corner there for Matt. Talked to Brad Keselowski, and he said they really struggled with their car over in Atlanta last week. Felt much better today. Drivers in backup cars, McMurray and Edwards have moved up the most so far. Vince?
Good news for Kurt Busch fans in regards to that 41. They do have that debris. You see it there, that white piece on the grill. But spotter Rick Corelli and crew chief Tony Gibson have talked about its location, and they think because of where that little piece of debris is, the location is not so bad. So they don't think it's going to be a significant issue, but certainly something to keep an eye on.
Thanks, Vince. Kurt Busch has led every one of 10 laps so far. Don't go away. We won't either.
Kobalt tools are made for the big jobs, like this and this. Not so much this. Nope. Yes. 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 Definitely. Now get up to 30% off select Kobalt Mechanics tool sets. Millions
Millions have switched and discovered the Sprint network really is faster. Plus, it's more reliable with better coverage than ever. To celebrate, we're extending our offer so you can save 50% on most rates from Verizon.
No more overpaying.
AT&T.
Bye-bye, big Bill.
Or T-Mobile.
I'm done with bill anxiety.
We'll even cover your cost to switch up to $650 per line.
$650? Really?
Yep, so switch today.
People know me as Dale Earnhardt Jr. race car driver, but there's more to me than that. In my office, they call me Boss Man. I scout the talent, close the deals, do it all with a firm handshake. Gentlemen, to others, I'm Water Cooler Dale. Y'all seen the pictures of Kansas, baby? Oh, yeah. It's so cute. It's so cute. Oh, man. Yeah, the dimples. Unreal. For protecting my small business and more, Nationwide is on your side.
I'm not retired yet, you knuckleheads.
Want a race?
As you saw, Jimmy Johnson and Martin Truex drove away from Casey Kane. So their little intramural battle. Kurt Busch has led every lap from Joey Logano, 1.5 seconds back. Matt Kenseth 2.5 with Brad Keselowski. Austin Dillon 3.5. Back up the lead under suddenly blue skies. And everybody's talking about the win.
Apparently the gusting has subsided. We got a constant breeze into turn 3 of another pass. The wind on the nose is making the car a little positive in center 1 and 2. Not too bad for 3 and 1.
Yeah, so that tells me his car's turning pretty good. He really doesn't need any extra front downforce on the nose of that car getting into turn 1 where that headwind is, but Jimmy's definitely clicking off some great laps and passing Kevin Harvick here as we see for the 6th position.
Yeah, that wind now, watching the flag again on the back, straight in front of us, is pretty gentle. It isn't gusting. You don't see the flag sticking out and dropping down. It's pretty consistent now. And I think that's working to these guys' favor.
Yeah, all those big wind gusts went to the north with that big, heavy cloud cover, at least for now.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I would think of if I'm Jimmy Johnson. I need to be a little bit careful of it. If I go into turn 1 and all of a sudden get a gust and I turn into the corner a little aggressive, it might just jump sideways on me.
We are 11 laps from the competition caution that NASCAR ordered because there was rain here at the racetrack last night, significant amount of it, and just a little bit this morning.
And just remember the rules of the competition caution. Should we get a caution before then, you can come to pit road, you can change tires, you can make adjustments, but you cannot fuel that car until the competition caution.
And even to follow that up, Larry, as a driver, you're trying to fill out your car. You're trying to see what kind of adjustment you're going to need for that first pit stop. You know that it's coming. You know the competition caution's coming. So you're playing around with different lines. A lot of things are going to change for these drivers and teams after that competition caution. They go back green.
Yeah, one of the things you'd really like to be able to do is stay on the lead lap until that 30-lap caution. But as you can see, our leader is now caught to the back of the field. He just went around the 98 car there and working on the 30. 2 cars that'll be a lap down here. They'll be racing for the lucky dog.
Cole Whitt and Josh Wise
stay on the lead lap. Look how much Joey Logano has reeled him in.
It was a second and a half when we came back from break. Now it's just 0.4 of a second. It's a matter of car lengths, not seconds.
Well, I think that's when you find out who's got a good long-run car. 30 laps is a nice long run. We'll find out who's good. Johnson's running pretty consistent right now. He's about a tenth quicker than everybody else.
Here's Kyle Busch up 6 positions, up to 16, just past A.J. Allmendinger, who started 12th. Jeff, how do you race differently when you know a caution's coming?
Yeah, you are a little bit more conservative. You want to make as many passes as you can and gain positions, but at the same time, you're really just trying to get a good read on your race car and make sure, as DW said, that you make it to that competition caution and on the lead lap if possible.
Yeah, it's always important.
And we'll see that 7 laps from now.
I think if you're the 41 car leader right now, Kurt Busch, you just want to get to that caution, get that debris off your grill. It's not causing them a problem, but you want to get rid of that distraction, something you don't have to monitor and pay attention to.
As we ride along with Jamie McMurray, love this shot all weekend long. We've been enjoying this shot, really seeing what's going on as a driver inside the car. You can see his head moving around as he goes into the corner. You see how his helmet compresses into the banking? That's the kind of loads that are on these drivers' bodies as they go into the banking at these types of speeds.
Johnson continues to move forward here in the 48 car. He's racing Austin Hill here for 5th spot. Been watching Jimmy. His car really good on the longer run here. He's really picked up the pace here a little bit when we're coming to this caution.
So right now, if you're Jimmy Johnson, you're feeling really good about things. If I'm Kurt Busch out front, I want to know who else is out there that we're going to have to battle with and what type of lap times they're running, because that's going to tell me if I need to make a small adjustment or a bigger adjustment.
Jamie?
When you guys are talking about Joey Logano, all weekend long he's been battling that short run speed, the takeoff speed. That's exactly what we saw in the start. He lagged back, but as the laps keep picking up, he's slowly reeling in the 41. Happy with the long run speed, but still working to get it better early.
He got within half a second, and now Kurt Busch has opened up another 0.3 on it once they're back in open field running. Chase Elliott leading rookie in the race. Ryan Blaney a couple spots behind him. Looks like a little debris on his nose in 12th. Chris Buescher, Brian Scott, Jeffrey Earnhardt.
Nice solid run so far for both these guys. Early on, I know, but whoa, now that's serious right there.
That's a very big piece of debris.
Good thing we're only a few laps away from that competition yellow.
They're going to fight this all day with these windy conditions.
You know, what I think we will see when we get this caution in about 3 laps, I think if you're up near the front, you're in the leaders, you're going to get 4 tires. It's well over a full fuel run. But when I look at drivers like Carl Edwards and Jamie McMurray, who started in the rear, they may roll the dice with just 2 right sides, doing something to try to make up this track position.
And you might be right, Larry, because everybody says this tire is really, really good. It doesn't fall off a whole lot, and wear is not a problem, so it'd be a good time to take that gamble.
Edwards is 26th, McMurray is 29th after starting 38th and 39th.
We're in Vegas, why not gamble?
11th place. Number 11 against number 21.
Yeah, Hamlin seems to be struggling a little bit here. He's fallen back a few spots since the start of this race, and now he's having to deal with a rookie.
Once the field cycles through 30 laps, which will be next time by, we'll see the competition caution, which NASCAR scheduled so the teams can check tire wear and conditions on an essentially green racetrack from last night's race.
Now, right there, you saw Kurt Busch get underneath the 46.
Okay.
And you saw the, I think the wind
getting ready to go to the caution.
At least aerodynamics did. He got underneath them.
5,
and he went to get in the
4,
gas, and caught a wiggle,
3,
and went up the racetrack.
2,
Got really
1.
close to the death.
Yeah, I think the wind's a little bit of a factor.
Now.
You pinch your car down on turn 4. There
5, 4, 3, off.
As you heard from the control
So yeah, there's the caution.
30 laps complete. 34 of 39 drivers on the lead lap. Michael Annett, who you just saw go 1 lap down, would get the free pass.
Woo.
And before they come to pit road, let's find out what's going to happen beginning with this lap.
Kurt Busch in that 41 car has led from the start. He, of course, started the race on the pole position. car started out a little loose on exit, but then it has swung tight, especially on the front end. They're not going to make any changes. It's 4 tires.
Matt Kenseth in the 20 car. Now, his car started out on the tight side, but progressively as 4 laps were logged, the car swung to the free side, especially in traffic. He said it's massively tight on lane exit. Expect air pressure on the 20 as an adjustment. Jamie?
Many of us have been talking about the 3-car at Austin Dillon this week, and they were so good in final practice yesterday, they put a cover on it with 20 minutes to go. So far today, he's given up 1 position, saying the car is just too tight from the center off, especially he felt it when the 48 passed and looked for a 4-tire stop, and I'll fill it up with you.
34 lead lap cars. Pace car leading them around. Green light, pit road is open this time. Here come the cars on the lead lap. Let's jack it up. Off pit road, and it's close between the 2 Penske Fords for third. Behind Hamlin and Kurt Busch, Keselowski, then Logano and Truex. All that leading the first lap. Jake strikes Kurt Busch. Too fast, entering pit road.
We are the Bug Chicks. We're a nano business. Windows 10 really helps us get the word out about how awesome bugs are. Kids learn to be brave and curious, and all kids speak the language of bug. Hey Cortana, find my Katydid video. Oh, so good. If you're trying to teach a kid about proboscis, just sketch it on screen. I don't have a touch screen on my Mac. I'm jealous of that. You put a big bug in a kid's hands and change their worldview.
No.
Not my limited time only ham prepared spicy smoky crispy KFC natural hot chicken with delightful pickles on top.
Which one you like, dear?
My Nashville hot chicken's still available. Boy, I sure do have a lot of nightmares about chicken.
It's finger licking good!
Kobalt tools are made for the big jobs, like this and this. Not so much this. This. Nope. Yes. 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 Definitely.
Now get up to 30% off select Kobalt Mechanics tool sets.
I've been blind since birth. I go through periods where it's hard to sleep at night and stay awake during the day.
Learn about Non-24 by calling 844-844-2424 or visit my24info.com.
I haven't always been a Patriots fan.
Not makeup.
All it took was a tap, a little panic, a misunderstanding, a dip.
Hey, I got tickets to the game. You're a fan, right?
Cool. And a click.
No matter how you pay, choose Visa.
The Kobalt 400 on Fox is sponsored by Lowe's. Hurry and
today for big spring savings. And by Budweiser, not backing down. Since 1876, this much for you.
Now, Kurt Busch will drop to the back. He was busted coming onto pit road. Not right in segment 1, but in segment 4 of pit road. He was speeding.
Here you go, Cook. Going red. Whenever NASCAR grows up, it goes to a pit road speed limiter button. We'll all have a safer pit road. Careful, brother. We'll be fine here. We'll get her back.
So when you hear him talk about one red, he has lights on his digital dash, and they go yellow, green, 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 and then red. So he's doing one red, and that's what they calculated as what pit road speed is. Obviously, he feels like one red was pushing the limits too far.
I agree with it. Should have a pit road speed limiter myself. I think that's something that would solve a lot of problems.
It would, but I like the fact that it's in the driver's hands and that they can make mistakes and that they have to monitor that.
It's just so close. Cool. You know, I mean, you're just talking about a red light. You know, it just seemed like a limiter would be better. Segment 4 is about a third of the way down pit road. He was doing 50.1 miles per hour. The limit's 45 with a 5.0 mile per hour tolerance. Green flag back in the air. Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Martin Truex, Matt Kenseth.
Back under green.
And just remember now, Hamlin took 2 tires on that stop. Be interesting to see how he fares up against these guys with 4.
We've seen his crew chief already this year take some gambles. He's in Vegas. Why not?
Wow, a lot of 3 wide down that back straightaway, and everybody on fresh tires clawing for position. Oh, he got nice and comfortable with this thing now. We can go 3 wide, no problem.
Restarts here will get really wild.
Oh, yeah. Ricky Stenhouse way up high, trying to pass 4 or 5 at once. And that's 17 right there, the white and blue car. Second place, here comes Kenseth. Now, he lost a number of spots on pit road, Matt. Why?
Mike, simply
on the radio. Would you like ammo? Radio. Would you like
one more shot at a look? Those couple seconds cost him 3 spots on pit road, but he's moving back to the front.
Just remember,
on the radio. Would you like ammo?
In this position right here, one of them wants to get away from the other in a hurry.
Did you see how aggressive Joey Logano was to side draft up the quarter panel of Matt Kenseth as they came down the front straightaway?
The last thing I want to see is that 20 car sticking that right front fender in my door.
That's it, side drafting. Kenseth's coming up, trying to get air on his rear spoiler, and then shoot to the bottom and try to build that momentum and make that pass. And I think Matt Kenseth got close to his left rear coming off of turn 4 when he was trying to make this pass. Joey a little bit here. Look, they're wiggling back and forth.
Listen, Matt Kenseth, and he'll get frustrated here in a minute if he can't get by Joey Logano, because he thinks he's a little bit faster. Last year, these two had a feud, a car-crashing feud that lasted several races and ended with a Kenseth suspension.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you can go back to all the reasons.
You always on this phone and the internet. Go do something. Can I go to the mall? Hell no, you stay in this room. What do you want from me? You always on this phone.
Stuck with him and the way it was handled by Joey Logano.
You always on this phone and the internet. Go do something. Can I go to the mall? Hell no, you stay in this room. What do you want from me? You always on this phone and the internet. Go do something.
Stars in my toes and a cook on my nose.
A lot of good battling all the way through the field, and here comes Kurt Busch. You saw he was number 41. Trying to work his way back from the penalty. He restarted 35th. Keselowski, Johnson.
Jimmy just needs to treat it his way. He's got a really fast race car. Brad's not making it easy on him. He's really holding them down tight. And that just makes the air on the car. There's that 78 car right there. He's in the here.
Boy, you got to be so careful going into the corner. Side by side like that, because the car on the bottom gets a little loose, slams in the car on the right. To try to win this race, or was the test on Thursday that important? Why they want to win the track?
nationwide Dale Jr. Performance Report.
Their biggest challenge was just the bumps. Trying to get the right ability that Dale Jr. was looking for. He was second quick in final practice. He felt like they had attained what he was looking for as far as feel, but right now they're trying to work on the nose of the car. They made an air pressure change in the front, trying to work the tightness out, get him more grip.
He was very happy at the end of practice yesterday.
I think those two tires worked all right for a few laps, but where you're going to pay the price is now when the four-star tires really start to take over and your two start to fade.
We have seen these tires drop off a little bit more. I love how Goodyear's been more aggressive with his tire, getting a little bit more grip, and the hope is with the lower downforce, it has good grip at the beginning for the drivers to be aggressive, but then there's some speed fall off, and where the drivers will have to start searching around the racetrack as we're seeing that exact thing happen right now.
You know what Matt Kenseth and Joey Logano are doing right now, Mike, is Matt Kenseth is having fun. You know why? Because he's in Joey Logano's mirror. And Joey Logano is saying, is that Matt behind me, or what's he up to?
And I think this was a great gamble by the 11 team, doing the two tires to get clean air, to get out front and see, can with that clean air pay off more than four tires.
Right, Hamlin pitted from 11th place. He is currently third. Joey Logano, the new leader.
You're watching Fox NASCAR.
We brought you here today to get your honest opinion about this new car. To keep things unbiased, we removed all the logos.
Feels like a BMW. Reminds me a little bit of Audi.
So this car supports Apple CarPlay.
Siri, open maps. She gets me.
It also has teen driver technology. It even mutes the radio until the seatbelts are buckled.
I'm very curious what it is.
This is the 2016 Chevy Malibu.
And it sells for?
It starts at $22,500.
What? Wow. I mean, all the technology.
That's a game changer.
The Passion is the story of Christ in the last hours of his life, told live all through the streets of New Orleans.
The Passion, a live musical event, Sunday, March 20th on Fox.
Have you ever tried to quit smoking? Join the thousands of adults who have made the switch with unique e-cigs. We'll work with you to provide a custom vaping system to fit your needs. Our one-of-a-kind specialty e-liquids are responsibly made in our registered lab and delivered to you free of questionable ingredients and chemicals. Visit any of our 11 locations and try a free sample of our top-quality e-liquid. Stop in or buy online at uniqueecigs.com. Unique e-cigs, life-changing vapor systems.
How are the top law firms in America recognized?
By their awards. The $1 Million Advocate.
The multi-million-dollar advocate.
The National Trial Lawyers Top 100.
The elite lawyers of America.
And Group Ratings Best Attorneys of America.
To get any one of these, there must be agreement that you are among the best of the best.
You know which law firm has received all of these awards.
Alexander and Catalana.
The heavy hitters, of course.
The heavy hitters are all you need. Call 1-800-LAW-1333.
Get set to save now at your local Kubota dealer. Instead of shoveling snow this season, get a VX tractor with your choice of PTO-powered front-mounted blowers, snow blades, and rotary brooms. Get financing as low as 0% APR for up to 5 years on a new VX70 tractor and up to $750 in savings when you buy a front loader and second qualifying implement. See your local Kubota dealer today. Celebrating 70 years in business.
You're watching Fox 68, WSYT. Joey Logano at 50 laps, your leader over Matt Kenseth by 1 second, and Brad Keselowski 1.5 back. Two Fords and a Toyota in the top three, followed by Jimmy Johnson and Martin Truex. Since the restart, Kurt Busch has gained the most possessions. The Sprint LTE Plus network delivers faster download speeds than other national carriers. Sprint.
I know people be like, you're a show off, and be like, hell yeah, bitch, I'm a show off, got a problem?
That much, yeah. I think some cars will eventually migrate higher up on the racetrack, but when you got good grip and tires like that, you're just kind of hang on the bottom. You got good grip, you can run the bottom and so fast you should wear in.
Happy with his race car right now, but they do have one little bit of a concern. Clayton used the spotter, noticed a tire rub in turn 1 and 2, so they're keeping a real close eye on that and communicating with the crew chief Cole Pern. And by the way, Mike, you were talking about Pern and his suspension, those penalties from the rookie
still works for Furniture Row. But I saw him walking around in the garage, and I guess they were anticipating next week. Truex in fifth ahead of Chase Elliott. How about the run the rookie's having right there in front of Austin Dillon?
Yeah, the Hendrick cars of Jimmy Johnson, Chase Elliott, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. I know Kane's right in there as well. They're all pretty solid today, and we see Austin Dillon. You know, he didn't have a great start to the race, but he's looking really good right now as well.
But Darrell, as being the expert analyst in the booth, who did not just get out of the 24, did we expect Austin Dillon to be a top 10 driver after only 3 Cup races? Well, for whatever reason, there's a vibe coming out of this weekend that I haven't seen in quite a while. A lot of confidence, so I'm looking for him to have a great run, and right now, he's still hanging right up there in 7th place. If I said him, I meant Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott is so strong after just 3 races. But I like them both. We like them both. We like them both. And there is Hall of Famer Bill Elliott. Thanks to Dad, how about that? Jamie.
Carl Edwards, early on, remember, he started this race 38th, and he immediately radioed to the team. He can't believe how aggressive everybody was racing. So he did as well. He's already at 20 positions, saying the car is just a little bit snug, but really good on the bottom, and that's what he was looking for.
Up to 18th place. A couple of drivers going the other way since the restart. Denny Hamlin down 12 spots. Casey Kane down a couple. Brad Keselowski down 1. Ricky Stenhouse down 2. Those are the drivers that have dropped quite a bit. Correction, Todd Berry doesn't work for Furniture Row. He now works for JGR. He made a change. A lot of happy fans in Vegas now that the sun has come out.
That's fine, because I love the way you're staring at it.
Stand out by design. Powerful by design.
Yeah, you. Danica, you had a rough run on the last lap there. How do you adjust?
And then when people be like, you're a show off, I'd be like, hell yeah, bitch, I'm a show off guy, problem.
What was the question again?
I honestly don't remember.
Hello, Geico? Yeah, I was just talking about your emergency roadside service and how it's available 24/7 and then our car overheated. Well, what are the chances? Can you send a tow truck, please? The location? You're not going to believe this, but it's in a tree. I wish I was joking, mate, but it's literally stuck in a tree. A chainsaw? No. All we really need is a tow truck.
Day or night, Geico's emergency roadside service is there for you.
Good news. This year, you and the family are making it to Galactic World without a hitch. When your check engine light came on, you went to AutoZone and checked it out for free.
Our Fix Finder helped you figure out what was wrong so you could fix it quick.
Now this sweet ride is ready for the journey to the promised land. You know, the land with $9 sodas and 3-hour lines you promised to take your kids to. With our help, you can always fix your car with confidence. What's up, America?
Kobalt tools are made for the big jobs, like this and this. Not so much this. This. Nope. Yes. 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 Definitely.
Now get a free battery with your purchase of select Kobalt outdoor power equipment.
The Kobalt 400 Hot Box is sponsored by Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling. 62 laps complete. Here's a look at how the Coca-Cola family of drivers are faring in this race, with 2 in the top 10, 4 in the top 15. Here, we're almost 25% of the way home.
in Las Vegas. 2 Fords leading a Chevy and 2 Toyotas with Joey Logano on point.
Yeah, as we get into these longer runs, we are seeing, Jeff, I just point out to Jeff, a lot of the cars are moving higher and higher. Matter of fact, Stenhouse just about brushed the wall. He just about went over the wall. He was right up there, almost hit it.
Kyle Larson's one who will take that high groove to extremes as Kurt Busch battles for 20 seconds.
It's people like Stenhouse that will dust that upper line off, and more people will get up there eventually.
And we just saw Denny Hamlin the lap before get real wide also in 3 and 4.
Matt?
And the Team Penske car is running 1-2. Now Joey Logano has moved up in turns 1 and 2, and that's exactly what his spotter, Joey Meyer, told him. You might want to try to move up if it will help your tight race car. Meanwhile, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson just quietly running in third. Gosh, when you look at his record here, in the last 11 races, 5 times he's finished first or second. They're trying to work on the balance of his race car as well. It was just too free on entry down in turn 1. The air pressure change has helped that. He's just quietly working his way to the front.
You know, one thing I like about Jimmy, well, a lot of things I like about Jimmy Johnson, but he won 2 races. He won 4 times here, 2 on the old configuration. They changed the track totally, and he won 2 on the new configurations. Likes them both.
Yeah, you talk about a driver that has a lot of diversity, knows how to adapt to different conditions. Tightening up the belts a little bit right there. He must feel a battle coming.
Yeah, he's getting ready to make a move.
That car might have been a little bit loose when he went into 3 and he came off of 4 and said, oh, I might need to tighten these up just a little bit more.
He looks mighty comfortable, Jeff. Look at that.
Always does.
Relaxed.
Always does. You know, I think there's a lot to be said about the posture and what drivers look like inside the car, and he's always one of those drivers. He just looks like a race car driver. He just looks so relaxed.
But right now, he's gaining on Brad Keselowski. Here's Brad.
And they're all gaining on Joey Logano because Joey's gotten into traffic, heavy traffic, just like we saw with Kurt Busch before, and now the 2 and the 48 are both catching him.
But Keselowski always looks tense to me. I mean, he's got that wheel right up there, and he's always like his eyes are bugging out of his head. He's really up on the wheel all the time.
But boy, the clock shows different. He's always able to consistently put down great laps. Now you saw Brad stick his hand out the window there. I thought that was interesting. I don't know the physical fitness of it, of the speeds that are run here, the temperatures going up a little bit more. If he's working hard, he had to get a little air inside the car there.
Well, now behind them at 5th place, Matt Kenseth, or at 4th place rather, Matt Kenseth has dropped to 5 seconds behind the leader. Matt?
The sun dancing in and out in the clouds as we have it on the 20. It's loose when the clouds come out. When the sun's out, it works more to the tight side. The bigger concern, though, Mike, he has a vibration. They're monitoring that to see if it's going to progressively get worse or stabilize. Right now, though, he says it's pretty bad.
At this point in the run, I don't think he has a wheel loose. I would think it may be a loose wheel there. What did you see?
You know, I just think back to their pit stop where they had all the issues with the lug nuts on the right rear. It just makes me wonder, do they have enough lug nuts tight? Let's go back to that pit stop about 40 laps ago. Look right here on the right rear. Watch the tire changer. He's going to tighten a couple lugs. He'll pull back up. Now he goes back. So you just wonder if that's where the vibration possibly could be.
Yeah, you're right, Larry. They dropped that jack while there was maybe 2 still hanging there. We know what can happen if it drops. They're not all tight. That wheel can get caught sideways and then not fully get tightened.
40 laps since the last round of pit stops. We may have stops coming soon under green, but it's 71 laps. Joey Logano is in command.
People know me as Dale Earnhardt Jr. race car driver, but there's more to me than that. In my office, they call me Boss Man. I scout the talent, close the deals, do it all with a firm handshake. Gentlemen, to others, I'm Water Cooler Dale. Steve still hasn't accepted my friend request.
He has really high standards.
And he doesn't check it. I'm friends with everyone but him in the office.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about
Are
it.
you guys friends with him?
Oh, no, we're friends. Mm-hmm.
So, for protecting my small business and more, Nationwide is on your side.
What if one piece of kale could protect you from diabetes?
What if one sit-up could prevent heart disease?
One.
Wishful thinking, right? But there is one step you can take to help prevent another serious disease, pneumococcal pneumonia. If you are 50 or older, one dose of the Prevnar 13 vaccine can help protect you from pneumococcal pneumonia, an illness that can cause coughing, chest pain, difficulty breathing, and may even put you in the hospital. Even if you've already been vaccinated with another pneumonia vaccine, Prevnar 13 may help provide additional protection. Prevnar 13 is used in adults 50 and older to help prevent infections from 13 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. You should not receive Prevnar 13 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. If you have a weakened immune system, you may have a lower response to the vaccine. Common side effects were pain, redness or swelling at the injection site, limited arm movement, fatigue, headache, muscle or joint pain, less appetite, chills, or rash. Get this one done. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 13 today.
What truck company do you think offers best-in-class V8 fuel economy, best-in-class V8 horsepower, and best-in-class V8 towing?
Jimmy.
I'm going with Ram. Definitely Ford. The new 2016 Chevy Silverado offers best-in-class V8 fuel economy, horsepower, and towing. They're all Chevy.
It's truck month. Get a total value of $7,500 on this Silverado All-Star with a 5.3-liter V8. Plus, find your tag and get $1,000 cash allowance on select Silverado models in stock. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
76 laps complete. It's Chevy Truck Month. Get to your Chevy dealer and take home the 2016 Silverado 1500 from the fastest growing pickup brand, Chevrolet. Find new roads. Joey Logano, your race leader at 77 laps. Matt Kenseth finally came in to fix that vibration. Got 4 tires. And Sunoco Race Fuel back out there.
And we saw last week, short pitting for Jimmy Johnson, Chad Canals paid off huge. They had a loose wheel or something wrong as well. Had to come in early. Now I know there's a lot more fall off at Atlanta versus here in Las Vegas, but if this thing goes green, this actually could work in their favor.
Matt?
Mike, they're looking over the tires that came off Matt Kenseth's car, and Jeff Mendering, the car chief on this, he pointed the fact that there's a wheel weight missing on the left rear of the 20. Now, Kenseth told his team, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's vibrating awfully at about a 7. That's when Jason Ratcliffe said, bring it to us. Let's not take any more chances.
Well, same thing as on your street car. You lose a wheel weight, that wheel will start vibrating. You'll feel it through the steering wheel. Now imagine that at triple the speed you normally drive.
We did see that left rear tire was shiny. Looked like it had been rubbing a little bit. Nothing serious. A little bit. I think the bumps are causing that. I think they go through the bumps. Car undulates up and down a little bit. Maybe gets up in there and rubs a tiny bit, but nothing serious.
Guys, in just the next few laps, we should see all the leaders of pit road. I go back to the topic at the top of the show, speeding on pit road. Green flag stops. They measure pit road in time over distance through segments. And the segment entering is very short, only 89 feet, where all the other segments are well over 250 feet. So we need to watch these leaders in that first segment coming in.
Yeah, you're right, Larry. This is one of those tracks where coming to green flag stops, you really got to make sure you go back to what you practiced in practice yesterday. We saw a lot of these teams and drivers practicing getting to pit road aggressively, and make sure that you don't overshoot it, as well as when you get to pit road, as we've already seen with Kurt Busch, make sure that you've got the proper speed.
Here comes those two-tire Hamlin. He couldn't get in quick enough.
I'm surprised it took him this long to get in there.
Now, it's funny, but 4 laps ago, Hamlin, who restarted first, was passed by Kurt Busch, who was restarted last after that penalty. Matt.
Chassis adjustment already completed on the Atlanta and Denny Hamlin. Now remember, he took 2 tires that first time. He felt like the left rear, which was not changed, was significantly going away. So an air pressure change as well on the 11 Hamlin.
You see on the right side of your screen that will call off the cars as they enter pit road. Under green flag stops, here comes Biffle and Truex. Vince?
The 78 of Martin Truex, he said it's a little slick in the back and a little snug in the front. It's going to be a 4-tire change. Also going to give him 2 cans of Sunoco fuel. They've been pretty pleased with the car, just nothing major, just trying to find that sweet spot with it as the crew is over and going to work. They had a little bit of a tough weekend last week in Atlanta, looking to bounce back this week here to the over the long game.
The leaders are in, both Logano and Keselowski.
The weakness for the two is what Brad Keselowski telling his team was late center of 1 and 2. Now they made an air pressure change on the first stop. That significantly helped. He felt like he was best down at turns 3 and 4. Stop completed by the 48 as well, Jamie.
Joey Logano had 22-man air pressure adjustment. Last run, he said the car is turning better. Another air pressure adjustment and 4 tires.
Well, yeah, just like under caution, Keselowski and Logano come out side by side. Green flag stops continue. 47 too fast entering. I got to tell you, there is some action, baby. Get no pit road. Woo! Matt.
Air pressure change coming for the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Now the first run, he used the track bar adjuster inside the car to try to improve the balance. Rodney Childers, so the track temperature has gone up well over 12 degrees. Jamie?
Casey Kanan, he said from last week his car is so much better. The front end is turning and it feels good. A 4-tire stop for the 5.
Austin Dillon picks up the lead of this race, and now he will come to pit road and surrender it. Jamie.
And Austin Dillon loose in and tight on exit. He was really fighting tight last run. They made some adjustments, including a wedge adjustment. He's been using that track bar adjuster inside the cockpit to help the car. You see the wrench on the right side of the rear windshield. There it goes. Another wedge adjustment, and they'll fill him up with fuel here for 4 tires on it.
Of the lead lap drivers, only Michael and Bentley got 98 minutes time. He scored a 6th. Mike, I want you to watch. I talked about the action getting on pit road. I want you to watch Fred Keselowski. When he comes to pit road, how he keeps from wrecking his car, I'll never know. He catches right up to the back of Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, God. Now, there it goes. You can see he got his left front tire down on the apron. Absolutely amazing because he actually made the pass. But he just comes off the bank here.
Hold on to it. Nice job. Too red.
That was almost a huge moment, not just for him, but it might have taken Jimmy Johnson out as well. Great save.
Oh, it was. I thought he was going to get them both. What it got him was the lead. Brad Keselowski now in front of his Penske Ford teammate Joey Logano by 0.8 of a second.
This just got interesting. Why pause to take a pill? Or stop to find a bathroom? Cialis for daily use is approved to treat both erectile dysfunction and the urinary symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently, day or night. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adeptus for pulmonary hypertension, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis and a $200 savings card.
All right, it's Ford Truck Month. This is the time, this is the place, and this is Ford F-150. With a high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy body, it's up to 700 pounds lighter than before. So you can tow more of this, haul more of that. And F-150 is the winner of a 2016 Kelley Blue Book 5-year cost to own award, which will save you lots of this. This is the time.
Now get 0% financing for 60 months plus $1,800 cash back on a 2015 F-150. See your local Ford dealer today.
There's a hot new deal on McDonald's McPick 2 menu.
Let me get a McPick 2.
Now, pick any 2 of your favorite classics for just $5. Choose any two iconic tastes. A Big Mac made with 100% beef, flaky filet of fish, seared quarter pounder with cheese, or crispy 10-piece chicken McNuggets for just $5. Hurry in for an amazing 2-for-5 deal on the McDonald's taste you love.
The Kobalt 400 on Fox is sponsored by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. By Ford, we go further so you can. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Top of the hour, live from Las Vegas, Michael Waltrip, Chris Myers. Glad you're watching NASCAR on Fox. About a 25-minute delay to start the race because of rain in the area and the wind gusts had reached officially up to 43 miles per hour. Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano, the Fords, winning last week's winner, Jimmy Johnson, in the Chevrolet. Michael, already the green flag pit stops a factor, and Denny Hamlin gambling with 2 tires affected him. Kurt Busch, who was the leader, speeding on pit road. We're going to see this throughout the day.
Yeah, those are a couple of leaders where it went wrong, but it went right for Brad Keselowski. When he dove on the pit road, that daring pass he made of Jimmy Johnson, coupled with his fast pit crew, got him the lead after that round of green flag pit stop.
So 7 leaders, 7 different lead changes, and Jimmy Johnson moving in on Joey Logano, or trying to, for second place.
This guy was the fastest car in the long run yesterday, and that's becoming evident now. Really moving up through the field. Another car that I'm impressed with, Chris, is Chase Elliott. He's just outside the top 5. His lap time, again and again, mirrored Jimmy Johnson's. He's one of the fastest cars as well.
Chase Elliott, one of 5 rookies in this race, currently running 6th. Another rookie, Ryan Blaney, is running 9th at the moment.
What a class we have. Blaney and Chase Elliott are going to race all year long for Rookie of the Year honors, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them both pull into victory lane. There's that 21 famous Wood Brothers car that Blaney wheels, and then, of course, Chase Elliott getting to drive Jeff Gordon's car. That's a pretty nice privilege.
And it's only the 3rd race of the season. Matt Kenseth, who's currently running 5th, has had chances to win the Daytona 500 last week in Atlanta with his bad luck. Bad decisions. We saw him have a vibration, cost him some time. He'll be hanging in there like he always does.
Maybe the luck has turned the other way. He had that vibration. He made his green flag pit stop. Everybody else had to make one shortly thereafter. It cycled through. But Kenseth right along in the top 5 with a very strong Toyota.
Brad Keselowski, your leader at the moment, who won here 2 years ago, and just to refresh the weather, which seems like it's a lot more cooperative now. The air temperature has dropped just a little bit. The gust of wind, or the factor, the steady wind, is about, according to drivers, 25 miles per hour as we rejoin Jeff Gordon, Darrell Waltrip, and Mike Jones.
Thanks, Chris. 96 laps complete. Brad Keselowski leading Jimmy Johnson by 1.2 seconds. Kurt Busch, the pole sitter, led a lot early, battled back for the speeding penalty. He is now 17th. Denny Hamlin tried 2 tires on the competition caution. That didn't work so well. He's mired in 19th. Greg Biffle, the last car on the lead lap, in 21st. Everybody else a lap or more down.
You know what I like, Mike? 4 of the top 9 cars are 25 years or younger. 4 of the top 9, 25 years or younger. We got some young drivers out here that are hungry.
It's a great talent for the future of this sport. And present right now.
Jimmy Johnson is the old man in the crowd.
He's the old man. I love it.
Caution for set debris.
Caution's out.
Lap
Caution
98,
is out.
debris just past the start-finish line. This is a huge break for Matt Kenseth. Kenseth had made a pit stop under green 10 laps before the rest of the leaders.
Yeah, there's some debris right there.
Now the caution may put him on the same cycle as everybody else on the lead lap.
I think it's also a huge break for Kurt Busch because, you know, he lost all that track position because of speeding on pit road. He has a very fast race car. Now the field closes it up.
I think it's a great break for the 2 car, because I think he was about ready to make his pit stop too, so I think it's really played there by a lot of favors.
So we're under caution for debris.
You know, we saw that water bottle there. A lot of these teams choose to have a system in the car that stays in the car where the driver and it pushes the fluids in there and they can stay hydrated. I've never liked that NASCAR allows teams to have those bottles that they can throw out the window, and with the wind the way it is today, you got blown onto the front straightaway.
Yeah, I had one of those cruisers in my car one time, and I stayed in there a long time, and I'd get sick after every race. I couldn't figure out why.
Then I looked down in the cooler and it had algae growing in it. So I felt like that wasn't probably the best idea. Now, given the wind today, that empty bottle could have come from the grandstand or from pit road. We don't know where it came from.
But it had a tube on it, like it was coming from. If you saw it, it had a tube like a straw almost.
Well, that explains it.
Yeah.
All right, Matt.
Mike, we had issues with the 20 of Kenton, the 11 of Hamlin, and now the 2 of Brad Keselowski had a vibration on his Ford, so this caution comes at a great time for him. His car was free by himself. He said it was awfully tight when he was in traffic. To Jamie.
And Joey Logano said he took off snug that time. They were on the splitter a little bit. Remember, he's led 39 laps today. That's the most of any other driver. They're going to loosen him up here with a 4-tire stop, and they'll fill him up with Sunoco fuel. Vince?
The 24 of Chase Elliott had been fighting tight center, and he liked the wedge adjustment on the previous stop, so we're going to give him a little bit more, like the changes, 4 tires and Sunoco fuel for the 24 of Chase Elliott.
Man, it always come out. 18.
Jimmy Johnson's 2 tires wins the Advanced Auto Parts race off pit road. And look at the big move by Kyle Busch on 18 spots. It didn't work so good for Denny Hamlin. Maybe it'll work for Johnson.
I haven't always been a Patriots fan.
Not makeup.
All it took was a tap, a little panic, a misunderstanding, a dip.
Hey, I got tickets to the game. You're a fan, right? Cool.
And a click.
No matter how you pay, choose Visa.
Rotisserie-style chicken raised without antibiotics, it's what we do. That same chicken pulled by hand, it's what we do. Freshly baked bread and crisp veggies, it's what we've always done. The new rotisserie-style chicken sandwich from Subway. Fresh is what we do.
Unleash your refreshing citrus kick. Do the do.
I think we should have taken a left at the river.
Tarzan, no. Where's Tarzan go?
Tarzan does not know where Tarzan go.
Hey, excuse me, do you know where the waterfall is? Waterfall?
No. Me, Tarzan. King of Jungle.
Why don't you want to
If you're a couple, you fight over directions. That's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
You have to do that right here.
Millions have switched and discovered the Sprint network really is faster. Plus, it's more reliable with better coverage than ever. To celebrate, we're extending our offer so you can save 50% on most rates from Verizon.
No more overpaying.
AT&T.
Bye-bye, big Joe.
Or T-Mobile.
I'm done with bill anxiety.
We'll even cover your cost to switch up to $650 per line.
$650? Really?
Yep, so switch today.
Anybody who knows me will tell you, I don't like to slow down. Even during the off-season, I never stop moving. I've got a lot of chores to do, a lot of mouths to feed, and a lot of races to run. That's why 5-Hour Energy is part of my life. Because I'm having too much fun to slow down. Now is the time for 5-Hour Energy. Hoods up, America. Today is the day. Time for everyone to pop your hoods. Get some grease on your knuckles. This old boy could have another 100,000 miles in him, everybody. And a little free time and new spark plugs will have this rocket ready for launch. Now, so get out there and grease that, tighten this, change those. With our help, you can always fix your car with confidence. Hoods up, America.
AutoZone.
The top 8 duet together live for your vote on a night where anything can happen.
Prepare yourself for a dramatic double elimination.
American Idol, the farewell season, Thursday on Fox.
The Kobalt 400 on Fox is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Toyota. Let's go places. 102 laps still under caution at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Jimmy Johnson leading.
where longtime partners Lowe's and Habitat for Humanity launched their commitment to help 1,000 families build and repair their homes. Jimmy helped kick off this effort and joined Habitat and nearly 100 Lowe's volunteers from 13 local stores to frame the first home. Then Jimmy handed over the keys to new homeowner Jamie Gordon and her daughter from Henderson, Nevada. Great gesture there. We're cleaning up from caution, and we are told that a piece of metal debris on the front stretch up near the wall was the cause for the caution.
Oh, not that water bottle?
The wind has really picked up down the back straightaway. Kevin Harvick.
Wind's blowing as hard as it has all day. I'm not really sure about that. I think it must have been inside earlier or something. You're right. You're right. All race. How's that? Dead for
The free pass car is going to be Casey Mears, and it looks like over a dozen teams take the wave around, which means they did not pit under this caution, and they're allowed to pass the pace car with one lap to go and tag the back end of the field, getting one of their laps back, but without the benefit of fresh tires and a full tank of fuel. The fall finale of The Last Man on Earth ended with the year's biggest cliffhanger. Tonight, prepare yourself for its incredible return. All new Last Man on Earth with Jason Sudeikis tonight on Fox. Boom. Getting ready to go green, Vince.
The 78 of Martin Truex Jr. had to come back in a second time because they did not get the left rear tight. Remember, guys, earlier they had tire rub on that left rear, so some issues on that end, but had to come back in a second time after getting 4 tires to retighten that left rear.
That'll drop him to 21st on this restart.
Whoa, how is that thing floating?
Get back out there and have to come in under green.
Yeah, the reason that left
That's
rear was
scary.
loose is the jackman dropped the jack on the tire changer, and that's Martin Truex Jr. signal to go. The tire changer couldn't do nothing about it.
Well, good thing it happened under caution.
Yeah, exactly.
Under green. I think we're going to see some aggressive driving right now. They realize track position's huge.
Get down on that apron, I guarantee you they get 3 wide going into 1. That gets exciting.
Get back to green.
There you go.
Oh yeah, come on, Kyle.
All there is in that 19.
Almost 4 wide there.
See Kevin Harvick on the outside. Really aggressive there with Kyle Busch.
Look at
Now we
this.
see
Look
Joey
at
Logano
this.
coming to the inside, 3 wide.
Oh, yeah. What I'm talking about. You get on down on that apron. That isn't out of bounds there. That's racing territory.
Now remember that 18 took 2 tires. And we saw what happened with his teammate. And I think we might see the same thing with Kyle Busch here. He might fade to the back on this run.
Vince?
Yeah, Kyle felt like he needed to roll the center better and he needed more front grip, and they only gave him those right side tires, so there's going to be a big run here, big stint to see what Kyle can do with those 2 right sides of that car handle.
Well, Kyle shot the bottom and made it. McKenzie didn't have quite as good luck, but now he's right behind Kyle in 5th
Look at that.
place. Johnson, Logano, Harvick.
Oh no, don't pass him, Kenseth.
And Keselowski, Edwards, Chase Elliott, Earnhardt, and
No!
your top 10. How about a Las Vegas crank it up? Yeah, baby. Johnson extending his lead 1.1 seconds now for Joey Logano, but the driver who is flying is Kurt Busch. Restarted 17th. He's picked up 6 spots already, working on Brian Blaney to move into the top 10.
Been really aggressive off turn 2 over here. Been getting a nice run off the bottom of turn 2. Made a 3-wide pass there a second ago. He is in a hurry.
You can see how his car's really rolling through the center extremely well right there.
2 drivers that have dropped back since the restart, Casey Kane and Austin Dillon. Jamie.
And this is the first time today that Austin Dillon has been outside the top 10. On the last pit stop, he came in 8th. They were going to take right sides only, and then crew chief Guadalabi made a last-minute call to take 4. It set confusion through the team, cost him time, and he restarted 20th.
He's picked up 1 spot from there.
There's Slugger right there. He's a great crew chief. They got a good car all weekend. Hate to see that happen to them. Maybe they get caught back up.
He's been around this sport for a long time, too. There's a lot of great drivers.
Casey in the 5 restarted 9th, and he has dropped to 15th. They fall into the clutches of Paul Menard there. It's the 15th spot. Just ahead of him, Ryan Newman has dropped 4 since the restart to 14th.
Somebody who hasn't had an issue with 2 tires, that's Jimmy Johnson up front leading this race.
What truck company do you think offers best-in-class V8 fuel economy, best-in-class V8 horsepower, and best-in-class V8 towing?
Jimmy. I'm going with Ram.
Definitely Ford. The new 2016 Chevy Silverado offers best-in-class V8 fuel economy, horsepower, and towing. They're all Chevy.
It's truck month. Get a total value of $7,500 on this Silverado All-Star with a 5.3-liter V8. Plus, find your tag and get 1,000 cash allowance on select Silverado models in stock. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Before you open your eyes, at Smithfield, we're busy slow smoking. Before you sizzle, we hand select and hand trim. Before you were born, we gave birth to flavor, which you'll find in every bite of our naturally delicious hickory smoked bacon. Flavor hails from Smithfield.
Welcome to Aaron.
Hi, is that really the monthly lease payment?
Sure is.
Mind if I take it for a spin? I could really get behind the wheel of this deal.
And there's no credit needed.
You, sir, drive an easy bargain.
There's another one.
Just tell me where to turn.
Let's just go right over here.
You mean left, right?
I mean right over here.
No, you mean left. It's always left.
Is this really happening?
Who are you talking to, Daryl? At Aaron's, we speak affordability and racing.
Hi, I'm Christy. And I'm Jess. And we are the Bug Chicks. We're in manual business. Windows 10 really helps us get the word out about how awesome bugs are. Kids learn to be brave and curious, and all kids speak the language of bugs. Hey, Cortana, find my Katievid video. Oh, so good. If you're trying to teach a kid about proboscis, just sketch it on the screen. I don't have a touch screen on my Mac. I'm jealous of that. You put a big bug in a kid's hands and change their worldview.
Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern on FS1, sponsored by the Jeep Renegade.
The Kobalt 400 on Fox is sponsored by Lowe's. Hurry in today for big spring sale. 118 complete. Jimmy Johnson's been out in front for 18 laps as we take a look at the most laps led today. Brought to you by Sprint. For a limited time, switch to Sprint, save 50% on most Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile rates. Sprint, better for less. Johnson the leader, Logano 1 second back, then Harvick, Kenseth, Kyle Busch, and this battle for 6th, Brad Keselowski and Chase Elliott.
Like Chase, doing a nice job today, Jeff. Another good job here, solid. Just running a nice, steady race. Running in top 10. Getting it done.
He's doing an excellent job. I'm really proud of him and that team and how they just keep building on that momentum from last weekend.
Vince?
Yeah, that led his performance last week in a career best 8th at Atlanta. And I talked with Chase before he got in the car today, and he said that he, although not 100% pleased, they really liked the way the direction was with this car. And he just, you know, Chase is a low-key guy anyway, but he had a real calm about him before the race. And you could sense a comfort and confidence. And considering that, I'm not surprised with the way they're running at all. Just got a real feeling from him that they were happy with where they were coming into this race today.
Pretty strong right now, 7th overall, and the 3rd Chevrolet in the race behind Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick. Austin Dillon has had a great week, but that last-second call to switch from 2 to 4 tires on their last stop has led to a lot of frustration from the driver's seat.
We don't want to hear another word about that, Austin. Team effort. Come on. Get your head in the game. Put your head in the game. Keep it there. Thank you. Focus.
He's having to fight himself back from 20th on the restart. He's picked up 2 spots since, going after Denny Hamlin for 17th. That button on the steering wheel, that's called the panic button.
Yeah, it's tough as a driver. There's a lot of intensity, a lot of adrenaline inside. You know you have a great race car. You've had a great weekend. He's been up front all day, and that one pit stop put him behind. But I agree with Slugger. He's got to keep him calm, keep him in the game. It is a team effort.
I like that fired up, though. That kid is fired up, and he's been fired up all weekend. I feel a vibe about them. I'm just unfortunate what happened there.
Fifth place battle here. Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch.
We saw this with Brad Keselowski the last run. He doesn't start off great. He mentioned that it was a little bit loose at the beginning, and then all of a sudden, as the run goes on, he gets better and better and better, and that's what we're seeing here again.
Now, the wind has picked up since the last restart. Those flags are straight out and bending the pole on the backstretch, as noticed by Carl Edwards' team.
Yeah, you caught a decent one as you dropped down into the corner. But Lyle, that slowed me down like 3 miles an hour. Yeah, that's a fairly good gust. How's your water?
Yeah, the crew chief's thinking, I can't do much about that wind. I can help you with your race car, but I can't do anything about the wind.
No, but I love it. You're talking about the wind. He says, talk to you out here, right? How's your water?
Give me something good. 9th place, Kurt Busch moving fast and moving back to the front. After a speeding penalty, put him at the tail end of the lead lap.
Yeah, Kurt, driving a great race, a really smart race. He has an excellent race car. All they need is track position. They'll be right back in this thing.
Yeah, that early mistake, you can overcome that. I love the way Tony Gibson got on there and said, look, calm down, we got a long way to go, and we're going to be fine.
And go back to that 19 conversation with his crew chief. When he talks about what's your water temperature, the reason he's asking that is because maybe he made a comment, he was a little bit...
Why is he falling back?
Might hit the front end just a little bit better, make the front turn. You see a great battle here between Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch.
Thought Kyle was going to let him go. Not so. There they are. Now it's the 4th place.
Hey, why are you all dirty?
Oh, steady Kansas.
Why are you all dirty?
See, I don't know if he got a gust of wind there. He went high. Brad rolled right around the white line. Going to make this pass.
Yeah, Brad's pretty good. Got a pretty good race car. Chevy Ford, Toyota at 127 laps.
Dirty.
Everyone in Las Vegas chasing Jimmy Johnson.
This is so dirty.
This is the time, this is the place, and this is Ford F-150. With a high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy body, it's up to 700 pounds lighter than before. So you can tow more of this, haul more of that. And F-150 is the winner of a 2016 Kelley Blue Book 5-year cost to own award, which will save you lots of this. This is the time.
Now get 0% financing for 60 months plus $1,800 cash back on a 2015 F-150. See your local Ford dealer today. Tonight, prepare yourself for the last man on Earth's unbelievable return. The Last Man on Earth with Jason Sudeikis. Boom. Tonight on Fox.
2 heavyweight legends. Knockout artist Mark Hunt. Battle submission master and former champion Frank Mir. Plus, Neil May. And the return of Hector Lombard. UFC Fight Night, March 19th. faster, do it better. Get more performance, more comfort, and more for your money with the Bobcat M Series loaders. Bobcat loaders offer best-in-class operation, design, and maintenance. The best is now even better. Bobcat compact equipment. One tough end.
Warner's Sales and Service, just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona, where quality still counts. Save, save, save with Pick and Pull. Pick and Pull Auto Parts has what you need for virtually any vehicle, domestic or foreign. Open 7 days a week. Pick and Pull Auto Parts saves you money. You find the part you need and pull it directly from the vehicle on the lot. There's no worries or hassles because with all parts purchased, you'll receive a 30-day money-back or part exchange warranty. Pick and Pull Auto Parts is located at 6983 North Street, Auburn, just minutes south of the Thruway. Call 1-888-474-2567. Visit pickandpullofauburn.com or come right on in to Pick and Pull Auto Parts and Recycling Center.
I was scared to go back to the dentist, because I hadn't been in for a while. But they cut me some slack when they saw all this plaque, and they didn't make fun of my smile. I don't have insurance, but they didn't mind, which I thought was a setup for robbing me blind. But I financed my teeth. This toothpaste was free, and the numbing stuff really worked wonders on me.
No insurance? With a free new patient exam and x-rays, plus extended financing available, dentistry's never been easier. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL.
You're watching Fox 68 WSYT. Time now for the Fox NASCAR mid-race report. Live from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, these are the odds where it's legal to bet prior to the race. Coming in, Kevin Harvick battling the flu all week. Has yet to lead, but he did win this race last year. Slight rain and wind gusts that hit as much as 45 miles per hour, so a 25-minute delay to the start of this race. Pole sitter Kurt Busch led the first 32 laps before a pit road speeding penalty. Jimmy Johnson, currently your leader. Joey Logano has led the most laps. Meanwhile, let's check in with Jeff Gordon. Jeff, who are you keeping an eye on?
Well, the greatness of Jimmy Johnson continues. He comes off win number 76 time Dale Earnhardt Sr. last week, and here he took 2 tires and still maintaining this lead.
And Jeff, Kyle Busch started this race in 23rd. Now, his crew chief, Adam Stevens, on that last stop, did 2 tires. What it has taught me, with only 2 or 3 more stops to go, you better have a good handling car and not a very long run to change his 2 tires.
I like the guy that started this race from the pole. He went to the back, though, because of that pit road penalty you talked about. But this car is rallying. This team is tough. He led the first 32 laps, guys. I think he's going to lead the last 32 also.
Michael, I think you're right. You like the pole guy. I like the guy that started alongside of him. Joey Logano, he's won 2 of the last 5 on a mile and a half. 22 to victory lane today.
Chase Elliott started 13th, and he has been running inside the top 10 much of the afternoon today. Said it's a little bit free into 1. They had some debris on the grill just a short while ago, but it has since come off. And his first time in Las Vegas, it's been a winner so far.
So Kevin Harvick has the flu. Winning is the best medicine. Harvick led the most laps last week. He won here last year. His fighter, Misha Tate, won last night. He's going to flew by you. And we hope there's a fight to the finish. 5 rookies in the race. Vince mentioned one of them among the 39 drivers, Chase Elliott, who's made it all the way up to second. Last year, 4 of the 6 cautions in this race came in the second half. And 2 years ago, it was a fuel mileage finish. That's when Brad Keselowski finished ahead of Dale Earnhardt Jr., who that time ran out of gas. And that's your mid-race report, live from Las Vegas. We're glad you're watching Fox NASCAR.
There's a hot new deal on McDonald's McPick 2 menu.
Let me get a McPick 2.
Now, pick any 2 of your favorite classics for just $5. Choose any 2 iconic tastes. A Big Mac made with 100% beef, flaky filet of fish, seared quarter pounder with cheese, or crispy 10-piece chicken McNuggets for just $5. Hurry in for an amazing 2 for $5 deal on the McDonald's taste you love.
Kobalt tools are made for the big jobs, like this and this. Not so much this. Nope. Yes. 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 Definitely. Now get up to 30% off select Kobalt mechanics tool sets.
Building the only trucks with the best fuel economy, best towing, best torque, and best payload. Takes guts. Overcoming any obstacle. That's the glory. Get a great deal on the trucks that give you both during Ram Truck Month. Get 0% financing for 60 months, plus up to $2,000 truck month bonus cash on 2016 Ram 1500 trucks.
Check this out, bro. What's that, bro, him? I switched to Geico and got more. More savings on car insurance? Yeah, Professor. And more. Like renter's insurance. More ways to save. Nice, potato chip. That's not all protein shake. Geico has motorcycle and RV insurance, too. Ooh. That's a lot more. Oh, yeah. I'm all about more Teddy Roosevelt.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more. In the heart of New York City. The stage is set for the Big East tournament.
Excitement in the air.
Some of the biggest names in college basketball will battle for the crown in this legendary event. And the possible #1 seed to the Big Dance. The road to March starts here. The Big East tournament begins Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern on FS1, sponsored by the Jeep Renegade.
With 124 laps to go, let's look at today's Toyota top performer. Matt Kenseth, Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards. Trevor Edwards is in a backup car. All on the lead lap, as is Denny Hamlin. Eric Almirola coming back down pit road, missed his pit last time by. Now, all of these teams that are pitting are teams that drivers that took the wave around on the last caution flag and did not pit. That group includes Casey Mears, who I misidentified as the free pass car. It was Trevor Bayne who got the free pass. Mears was one of those drivers who took the wave around. So they are needing tires and service now. While we were away, this happened. Watch Brian Vickers and Martin Truex here.
I see Vickers up the track a little bit, and I got 78 Truex. I got him all out of shape. And Hamlin saying, hey, you two knuckleheads, I'm up here. Give me some room.
Yeah, it's amazing to watch the air, how it moves around these race cars. That's the area also where the crosswind is coming from, that strong wind down the back straightaway. Really upset the 14 cars. The 78 got his outside. And then the 14 upset the 78 when they went flying by.
And all without contact.
We were talking about the 43 missing his stalls. Michael Annett came out. He just couldn't get in. No. Now we also talk about, we're going to listen to the audio here real quick.
Fabulous. You guys got to do better than communicating.
And this is what I was going to point out. We talked about the high winds, how the teams are taking that pit sign, the one that's the overhead, one that most teams and drivers look for. So it's up to the spotter or the crew chief to count them in to their pit stall. And I think that was just a lack of communication.
And also, somebody needs to tell them when somebody pitted just before them is coming out and is likely to be in their path.
I think most of the time the driver needs to watch for that, but you're looking for your pit sign, and then somebody's counting you down. And when that car pulls out, you have a good idea. You can see that the jack is getting ready to drop on that car, so you have an idea when they're coming.
The drivers are hard on his victory today. Yeah. Look at Jimmy Johnson's laps led here, closing in on 550 of them. Jamie.
And Carl Edwards has had an up and down day. For the most part, car's been pretty good. Starting in the back, worked his way up to the top 15. A four-tire stop here, been pretty neutral. They've been making adjustments to help him. Tighten him up just a touch. The last knuckle fuel and no chassis adjustments. You see that little bit of tape they just stuck on the middle to help that down for him.
Now you see the leaders on the left of your screen. Here comes Truex. He's got those fresh tires. Jimmy Johnson's going to peel off for pit road. Truex caught them like nothing. Matt.
And the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, they had their pit board sign up, getting ready, but the wind's just too much. They saw Denny Hamlin, his car on the tight side. And now it brings him to a stop. Chassis adjusted for the 48. Lost a lot of grip on that run. The car on the free side due to the right side tires only. Chassis adjustment bins on the left side as well.
The 18 of Kyle Busch started 23, but he's methodically been moving his way up, and now he's in the top 10, pitting from 9th place. Says it's just losing the rear, especially in 3 and 4, where it's stepping out. They're going to try to help him with some security, Matt.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. spent that entire run with the track bar adjuster down, trying to tighten up the 88. He said ride quality is awful across the bumps. Jamie?
Austin Dillon, remember last stop, they made a last-minute call to take 4. They took 4 this time. It was a good stop, Matt.
Matt Kenseth, he was much better this run. He was trying to save the grip on the rear tires, but it has gone away. Both in the front, where he says we just killed the nose, and he's got no grip on the rear. Vince.
There's the 41 of Kurt Busch. It's trending a little bit tight in the middle. It's going to be a 4-tire change. They've been real close. Haven't had to take any big swings at it. Been on both sides of the fence, a little free and a little snug. Jamie?
And they haven't had to take any big swings with this 22 today either. Just a little bit snug in the center. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment that was already done to the front tires and a 4-tire stop.
Brad Keselowski maneuvering over Chase Elliott. Well, frustration continues for Austin Dillon. He is back on pit road serving a penalty, speeding. Yep.
This is why you don't get upset with your pit crew or anything else that happens. You've got your responsibilities, they have theirs, and that's why you need to stay calm. It can come back to bite you.
If you're going to give it, you better be willing to take it. He gave it to them, he just had to get it back.
Right.
Well, he's not the only one, and we said speeding onto pit road would be an issue. On this round of green flag stops, Greg Biffle, Ricky Stenhouse, Kyle Larson were all nabbed for speeding in Section 1 just as you come off the racetrack at Turn 4.
There were 12 penalties here last year, Mike, so we know that's kind of the history of that pit road entry down there.
You have such a short segment coming onto pit road here. It's very easy to misjudge pit road speed there.
Vince?
Give a tip to the cap to the crew chief on this 24, Alan Gustafson. They've called for 1 chassis adjustment the entire day, and right now Chase Elliott likes it. He said it's got really good security and grip. That may be bad news for the competition, Matt.
The 2014 winner here in Las Vegas, Brad Keselowski, looking for another. Now, he said he felt like after about 10 laps, the right front really started going away. And especially with the balance, he wants to work on that for this run. Now, remember, let's stop by these guys. Turns 3 and 4, that's where he's money. The car's almost perfect.
6 speeding penalties today. 4 in segment 1, as we mentioned, including A.J. Allmendinger early in the race. 2 in segment 4, about a third of the way down pit road. Kurt Busch early, and Austin Dillon very recently. Now, Jeff talked about the driver's responsibility getting into the pit. Have a look at Joey Logano jumping on the brakes and making a nice entry to his pit. Close.
My Nashville hot chicken's still available. Boy, I sure do have a lot of nightmares about chicken.
It's finger licking good! People know me as Dale Earnhardt Jr. race car driver, but there's more to me than that. In my office, they call me boss man. I scout the talent, close the deals, do it all with a firm handshake. Gentlemen, to others, I'm water cooler Dale.
Have y'all seen the picture of Kevin's baby?
Oh, yeah, it's so cute, it's so cute. Oh, man, that's the dimple. Unreal. For protecting my small business and more, Nationwide is on your side.
Powerful. By design. Heart-pounding. By design.
Hi, I'm Christy. And I'm Jess. And we are are the Bug Chicks. We're in nano business. Windows 10 really helps us get the word out about how awesome bugs are. Kids learn to be brave and curious, and all kids speak the language of bugs. Hey Cortana, find my Katie's video. Oh, so good. You're trying to teach a kid about a proboscis, just sketch it on the screen. I don't have a touch screen on my Mac, I'm jealous. You put a big bug in a kid's hands and change their worldview.
You know, Viagra helps guys with erectile dysfunction get and keep an erection. Talk to your doctor about Viagra.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Olympus for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
The Kobalt 400 on Fox is sponsored by KFC's new Nashville Hot Chicken. It's spicy, smoky, and crispy. And by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. 107 laps to go. Jimmy Johnson out in front of Joey Logano by 1.4 seconds. Let's take a closer look at pit performance, sponsored by Advance Auto Parts.
Mike, we've talked about the importance of green flag stops, and what we love looking at is a pit stop comparison with teams and the driver, the 2 laps going around the racetrack, including the trip to pit road, and you can see right there, Matt Kenseth and that team, they are a second quicker in those 2 laps, including the stop, than any of the closest competitors. Brad Keselowski a second back, and you see right there Kyle Busch, another Joe Gibbs Toyota driver, almost a second or third back behind his teammate Matt Kenseth. Joe Gibbs Racing, that Toyota team, they're always getting the job done on pit road, and their drivers do a good job getting on and off as well.
Kenseth in 7th place right now. He is the leading Toyota in the race.
Yeah, all they need is a little bit better track position and have a green flag stop like that. They'll be right back in it.
So Jimmy Johnson's your leader, Joey Logano second, and 2 seconds back of the leader. Here's Kevin Harvick. Matt?
Harvick trying to work on Stewart Haas Racing's 3rd win here in Las Vegas. Now, Rodney Childers told Kevin we were stretching it on that last run, trying to get to a window so that way they can make it on one more stop. Harvick said the car, balance-wise, wasn't bad, but 4 tires will certainly help the tight condition that he was experiencing.
Yeah, man, he's been riding. I mean, he's been right there in the top 5. Really hadn't pushed the issue yet. I think there's a lot left in that number 4 car.
But look at his teammate Kurt Busch and how he has fought back from that self-imposed penalty for speeding early in the race after leading 32 laps. He's come right back up to the top 10. Danica Patrick knocking on the door of the top 20, a lap down.
And Kurt has the benefit of having a great race car. So it's nice that even though he got fired up on the radio there a little bit, had to go to the back, he regrouped and he made sure that he has that fast race car and keeps it clean and getting up through the field, making nice, good passes. And here he is now finding his way back into this race.
There's a look at his day, dropping like a rock due to that pit speeding penalty early on, Vince.
Well, one of the things that Tony Gibson and Kurt Busch worked on during practice, they really focused on running the bottom because they believe that most will go toward the top to avoid the bumps down low in 1 and 2. They said if you can run the bottom, they think it's going to be an advantage over the course of the day. Certainly, Kurt has had a car that's worked down there today, and it's because they put so much attention into it in practice yesterday.
Yeah, Vince, he ran the bottom and ran 196 miles an hour around this joint to break the track record. So they got a good race car for sure.
Jimmy Johnson's led the most laps so far. Still 101 to go here. Joey Logano now just 0.4 of a second back as Johnson deals with traffic, trying to put Trevor Bayne 1 lap down.
You know, guys, I keep looking at these pit windows and these drivers possibly trying to make it on one more stop. You're riding with Brad Keselowski. He ran 54 laps that last run, pitted on lap 154. That's 113 laps to go. That means he's going to have, if we stay green, a run of 56 laps and 57 laps. So he's got a lot of work to do to make it on one more stop. I think he's the only driver that would be close to being able to do it.
And Larry, I'm not sure he's not doing that right now. I mean, he's
now.
Boy, Trevor Bayne does, in the 6th does not want to go a lap down.
Neither him or Casey Mears. This has gotten really intense, really closed up that battle between Jimmy Johnson and Joey Logano. And those guys are racing for position, and they want to stay on the lead lap, so you can't blame them. But boy, is it frustrating when you're the leader and you come up on them and you lose that much time.
99 laps to go. Let's take a look at our nationwide David Jr. performance update.
Mike, starting with Thursday's test session, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has focused solely on ride quality, trying to work his way through the bumps, especially down there in turns 1 and 2. He said the car is just absolutely loose. Very bouncy. The ride quality is awful. They have tried to make adjustments. No gains on the 88 Junior.
He is just outside the top 10 in 11th place. Jake?
They struggled at times, but I'd say they've been really, really strong at the beginning of this race. I'm surprised that they weren't able to maintain that throughout this race.
Hey now, where's he going? A little extra speed. Cart's not moving.
Have switched and discovered the Sprint network really is faster. Plus, it's more reliable with better coverage than ever. To celebrate, we're extending our offer so you can save 50% on most rates from Verizon.
No more overpay!
AT&T.
Bye-bye, big Bill.
Or T-Mobile.
I'm done with bill anxiety.
We'll even cover your cost to switch up to $650 per line.
$650? Really?
Yep, so switch today.
Rotisserie-style chicken raised without antibiotics? It's what we do. That same chicken pulled by hand? It's what we do. Freshly baked bread and crisp veggies? It's what we've always done. The new rotisserie-style chicken sandwich from Subway. Fresh is what we do.
Kobalt tools are made for the big jobs, like this and this. Not so much this. Nope. Yes. 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 Definitely.
Now get a free battery with your purchase of select Kobalt outdoor power equipment.
See these hands? Do they look like the hands of a man who carries around discount cards? Yeah, didn't think so. Introducing Speed Perks from Advance Auto Parts, a rewards program for guys who love getting under the hood. No cards, no points, no nonsense.
What happens when Christ attacks?
We'll be ready for it. We'll take it.
I'll take it from here.
The Kobalt 400 on Fox is sponsored by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. 92 laps to go. We are sailing now. Time for a KFC race break. If you weren't with us at the beginning, we had a slight delay to the start of things. It was that windy. The wind gust forecast up to 50 miles per hour. Some of the crew got lost waiting for things to start. Not Kurt Busch. Second straight week on the pole. Second straight week in which he has led early. 32 laps until a pit road penalties. We're getting a pass for the lead. Joey Logano, your live action pictures ahead of Jimmy Johnson. And speaking of Keselowski, he made a nifty little move to lead some laps early, and then Jimmy Johnson passing Logano. This was lap 133. Johnson has led 3 different times. Jimmy Johnson's led the most laps, but Logano, moments ago, Michael Waltrip with Chris Myers help us out.
Just sorting their way through lap traffic, Chris. You can see Jimmy Johnson, the leader, just hung up beside Greg Biffle. I don't think Biffle liked the way he got past, so he came back and side drafted off Johnson. That opened the door for Logano to squirt through. Strong move by Logano.
And begs the question, Jimmy Johnson last week, who was so dominant in victory, if there's someone who's going to beat him, is it one of those 2 Fords?
I think it's that 2 Ford. Number 2, the Miller Lite Farmer, Brad Keselowski. He is very strong. I watched the times on the monitor, Chris, like the nutty professor, studying every lap, and lap after lap, the 2 car, once they get 20 or 30 laps,
Caution.
Chris, he's going to be the man.
Caution caution is out. Debris in turn 1. We've had
always has to be debris.
14 or now 15
Can't be anything
changes.
interesting.
Third caution comes out with under 90 laps to go.
And this is a sprint to the finish. You've got to be perfect on pit road. We've talked about the fact that we've had some issues with getting on and off pit road penalties. You can't have them now, Chris. It's too late. You've got to be perfect now if you're going to win this race.
There were a dozen pit road speeding penalties last year in this race, 6 so far here. How about the rookies running? You touched on them early. Chase Elliott, who is currently 5th at this moment. Ryan Blaney right behind him 6th.
And they're equally as impressive. Blaney just matches Chase Elliott for lap time. They're both marching through the field. We've seen Chase Elliott strong on the restart. Blaney struggled a bit and has to rebound after the tires get warm. So we'll see if he can put the magic restart on this time.
You know,
Look at this.
Jeff Gordon pointed out Brad
Oh.
Keselowski gets better
Oh.
on the long runs, and that's something we're likely to see more of in the rest of this race.
And that kid does too. Up into the top 5, being chased by, being hounded by his rookie counterpart. These guys are impressive.
Well, right now, Logano and Keselowski, your leaders, and that has been your KFC race break.
I am still catching my breath over Joey Logano's pass for the lead. That was a statement move.
Well, I think Jimmy Johnson's catching his breath after how close he and Greg Biffle got off of turn 4. That was really tight. Obviously, Greg didn't like it and made a run at him, which really stalled out the 48. And here came the 22 with a really bold and aggressive move.
Yeah, it was a power move. I mean, he nailed the throttle and shot right about 48. So the Penske Fords have the lead. Pit road is open. Matt.
Brad Keselowski was very pleased with this car on that run. So really, finally got it where it was. He was disappointed the caution came out. They made an air pressure change the last run. Paul Wolf asked him, do you want to continue in that direction? And then Brad said no. Meanwhile, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, his car was very skaty, tight as he went on during that run. Let's see if they make a chassis adjustment on that run. No. Yep, there it is. The wrench goes in the back window. And meanwhile, Kevin Harvick, he was tight down in turns 1 and 2. Jamie.
Joey Logano made a statement with that pass, also showing how good his car is. Said it took off better. That's the first time he said that all weekend long. A 4-tire stop here, Ben.
Chase Elliott really liked the way his car fired off on that last round. He said it did trend towards snug as they ran, so they're going to take a half round out of the left rear. 4-tire change, a little bit slow up front on the left side.
4 wide coming off pit road.
Goodness, what a battle. Battle of the pit crews.
Man, they were, I swear, those were great pit stops, and they came out there all side by side. Look how tight this race off pit road is behind Joey Logano, all by himself. And then everybody except Brad Keselowski hit the siren, boys. Speeding penalty exiting. Wow.
We brought you here today to get your honest opinion about this new car. To keep things unbiased, we removed all the logos.
I feel like a BMW. Reminds me a little bit of Audi.
So this car supports Apple CarPlay.
Siri, open maps.
Guys, I do gotta go eat dinner. I'm not gonna stop this, but I am gonna go eat dinner.
This is the 26.
In about 5 minutes. So
It starts at 22.5.
I'm not even sure what we're having, but you'll see in the vlog.
It's a game changer.
It's the story of the crucifixion. It really does combine the drama of the story with a lot of music.
The Passion, a live musical event, March 20th on Fox.
Get set to save now at your local Kubota dealer. Kubota's PX70 series subcompact tractors are easy to drive, gentle on turf, and powerful enough to handle a wide range of garden and yard chores. Now get financing as low as 0% APR for up to 5 years on a new BX70 and up to $750 in savings when you buy a front loader and second qualifying implement.
Okay guys, I'm gonna go upstairs. I'll be back maybe 15 or so minutes.
Celebrating 70 years in business.
Maureen was rear-ended by anyone, and she's hurting bad. She's never been in a collision before, and she didn't know what to do.
And there are lots of things Maureen's going to have to remember under pressure.
Because dealing with big insurance companies that will bully you is stressful.
Injured? Call Joe, because Joe knows what to do next. Call Joe at 1-800-608-3333. Stanley Law.
Don't be bullied.
Hiram's Tire is your hometown Michelin Tire and Auto Service Center.
We have over 1,000 tires in stock on site and offer you the best prices available on all our services and tires. No hidden costs. Our state-of-the-art equipment and 9 service bays can handle any vehicle. And with over 40 years experience, we've got you covered for anything from a check engine light to a simple tune-up. Hiram's Tires. Stop in and see us at the corner of Morgan and Buckley in Liverpool. Or check us out online today.
You're watching Fox 68 WSYT. Boy, light siren, Reno 911. Brad Keselowski nabbed for speeding in segments 6 and 7. As they all got 4 wide, Brad was trying to gain a little ground, and he got a little too much.
Yeah, we know how aggressive Brad Keselowski is getting on pit road. We saw he was blocking the 48 coming onto pit road, not wanting anyone else to get an advantage, and then he's trying to get an advantage leaving, and unfortunately cost him.
And at this point in the race, the last thing you need to do is start in the back of the field. That could be that could do him in.
You see the rear tires locked up as he really carries a lot of speed right to the mark that you want to be on as a driver. Pit crew doing a nice job here.
Never mind, he let me come down here. So, I don't want the door closed. Yoo-hoo, Chester! I got some meat.
And he's trying to make up for it. He knows this is important, but you can
Yum!
That's where it cost him.
You know, one thing that we were concerned about with the way this wind is blowing is picking up debris on the nose of the car. Now, this was Ryan Blaney earlier in the race. I mean, that whole opening is almost blocked. Now, let's go to our 4th car.
Yum!
Let me show you a little something about the grill opening that's below.
Why do I have a fork to eat my soup?
You heard Jamie Little give a report on Carl Edwards earlier that they added tape. Now, this is the grill area right here. And the reason
really
we
good.
add tape, it helps the drag of the car on the straightaways, but really helps front downforce. But one thing I've noticed, a lot of teams are blocking up this area over here and leaving all of this opening. And the reason what that does when you block it up over here, it really plants the left front of the car and really helps the car turn. So they get pretty creative with the way they tape the nose up.
You crew chiefs and your tape.
Oh, that's cool stuff, Larry. Thank you.
Rookies right now, 5th, 7th, 30th, Brian Scott, 35th, Chris Buescher, 37th, Jeffrey Earnhardt. Finishing track cleanup, hey, how about next week?
Next week, Fox NASCAR heads to the desert, but the heat isn't the only obstacle. There's high speeds, sharp turns, and things are sure to get testy. It's all next week with Wednesday starting at 1:30 Eastern on FS1 and continues on Fox at 3 Eastern.
NASCAR heads west. Continues. Interesting day of weather. Right now, blue skies, a few puffy clouds. You'd never know. We had a spate of rain earlier and gusts of wind up to 50 miles per hour. Track temp in the sun up to 84 degrees.
Well, just before those pit stops, we saw that impressive pass of Joey Logano over the 48. This was his radio after the stop.
I was, compared to 48, really good in 1 and 2, and then I was over the 18 in 3 and 4.
Well, that's where he made his pass down there
Crap.
in 2, so he felt really confident with it down there.
Awesome.
13 wave rounds as we get ready for the restart. 6 of them will go back onto the lead lap, and Trevor Bayne got the free pass. Matt?
Paul Wolf talked to Trent Cherry, who's the pit crew coordinator, the coach for the guys that go over the wall. They didn't even have to look at video. Now, on that stop, what happened was Kyle Powers, the rear tire changer, he hit the lugs, but when they went to grab the wheel, he had to go back and hit one more lug to get it off. That's what cost them the time. Also, Brad Keselowski wanted to know which zones were 6 and 7 where he was buzzing for speeding. Paul Wolf told him it's the last 2 zones on pit road.
Thanks, Matt. Getting ready to restart. There'll be 8 laps to go as the 2016 Toyota Camry XSE leads the field. Logano in a Ford, Harvick in a Chevrolet, and Matt Kenseth in a Toyota will be the first 3. Then rookie Ryan Blaney in a Ford, Jimmy Johnson and rookie Chase Elliott in Chevys will line up.
And Kyle and Kurt Busch, the Busch brothers, side by side.
We talked the last restart. It's going to get aggressive. Guess what? It's going to get more aggressive now. Track position is so huge. These drivers are really going to be pushing hard here.
First driver to get penalized for speeding today, Kurt Busch, has pushed his way back up into the top 10. Trying to get back to the pole where he started today. Logano on the jump. So that 21 was pushing the heck out of the 4 of Kevin Harvick, and here they go, 3 wide off into turn 1.
Just as I expected, the 41 of Kurt Busch is a good restarter. He's really aggressive. He went to go to the outside of the 24. The 24 blocked him high. He went right to the middle, 3 wide. Here he comes to the bottom.
All the way downstairs for that 41, looking for 4th place. Well, he wobbled her down in there, but he made it.
Right. Jimmy Johnson is not one.
Right there with you, still with you. Coming back to you.
He knows that's his toughest competition right there, that 41 car.
Vince?
You know, Kurt Busch told Tony Gibson during that yellow, he said, this is a really good car. We can do things with it we have not been able to do before. And Gibson told me before the race today that their focus on the mile-and-a-half programs this season was to get the car to exit the corner better, because Kurt carries so much speed through the center that sometimes it hurts him on exit. That's been a target of improvement, and they feel like they've made it. It's showing today.
Well, right now he's carrying a mirror full of Jimmy Johnson. Right in his wake as they work underneath Ryan Blaney, and Blaney is not going down without a fight. He settles right there in 5th place. Yes, sir. Been running a great race all day long. Blaney, and right behind him is the 41, and here comes that 24 hanging up. But here comes the guy right here that I wouldn't count out. He's pretty darn good at the end of these races, too. 18 to Kyle Busch.
I think Chase really is regretting getting onto the outside. He made a couple good moves on the restart to get outside the 48 car. But then that outside lane just seemed to not be the place to be, and now here he goes back to the bottom.
Yeah, these grippy tires, I think, Jim, you want to hang the bottom as much as possible, because you've got all that grip down there. It's the shortest way to get the best run off the corner.
Paul Edwards, solid all day. A battle here with Jimmy Johnson and Ryan Blaney. Love seeing these rookies up there battling these veterans.
Oh, this is awesome. I'm the same way. I love that 21 being up there. Jeremy Bullins and that crew, they have done a wonderful job this weekend. Remember that 21? They're not used to running all the races. So I think that team will get better and better and better as we go into the season. He held off Jimmy Johnson through 2.
You reckon he held off that? Did Jimmy hold off Kyle Busch? Kyle Busch had a big run on him there.
How many days is 1,000 hours?
Wow.
He's a rookie. He can hang on to it.
So we know how good those fancy boards are. This is an extension of that with the Woods brothers, so no surprise he's running as strong as he is. Except
How many days is 525 hours?
Looks like Jimmy's going to complete that pass now.
I think that's probably a courtesy. I think that the 21...
How many days is 100,000 hours?
That's a 6-time champion. I better not hold him up.
No, I don't think so at all, but I think what happened was he was pushing so hard the last time.
How many years is one?
Lost it.
Well, I will have he said I'm a 6-time champion. Maybe I'll learn something about boxing.
How many years is 4,166 days?
Joey Logano is trying to pull away, and he's doing it 100th of a second at a time. But on the backstretch, Harvick reels him in. Logano's a little faster in the corners. Harvick's a little quicker down the straightaway. Does it surprise you that Harvick could run in seconds? Who picked him in the mid-race report? Well, you did, but okay. I just thought he finished second, 15 times last year. I mean, he broke the record for second-place finishes. Long way to go, I agree, but he's running second right now. Who did you pick? I got the guy leading, man. What are you talking about? All right, I'm just bragging on you. It's all right. Let me hit that panic button. Wow. Plenty of time.
You were in an accident. You've been attacked. Everyone outside of here is dead.
There's a woman. She wants me to let her in.
All right, it's Ford Truck Month. This is the time, this is the place, and this is Ford F-150. With a high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy body, it's up to 700 pounds lighter than before. So you can tow more of this, haul more of that. And F-150 is the winner of a 2016 Kelly Blue Book 5-year cost to own award, which will save you lots of this. This is the time.
Now get 0% financing for 60 months plus $1,800 cash back on a 2015 F-150. See your local Ford dealer today.
Oh no.
Not my limited time only ham prepared, spicy, smoky, crispy, KFC, Nashville hot chicken with delightful pickles on top.
Which on your light, dear?
My Nashville hot chicken's still available. Boy, I sure do have a lot of nightmares about chicken.
It's Vader Lick, it's good! People know me as Dale Earnhardt Jr. race car driver, but there's more to me than that. In my office, they call me boss man. I scout the talent, close the deals, do it all with a firm handshake. Gentlemen, to others, I'm water cooler Dale.
Y'all seen the pictures of Chad's baby?
Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. Oh, man. That's the dimples. Unreal. For protecting my small business and more, Nationwide is on your side.
The Kobalt 400 on Fox is sponsored by Lowe's. Hurry in today for big spring savings. And by Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling. 70 laps to go in Las Vegas as we take a look at the most laps led, brought to you by Sprint. Jimmy Johnson, all time, 569, trouble back straight away.
What?
Kyle Larson has brought out the caution.
What happened?
This will be yellow flag number 4. It looks like there may have been some contact between Larson and A.J. Allmendinger in the 47. That's the 47 down the inside, and he pushes up.
He doesn't hit him. He just gets so close to him and frees him up. Turns him sideways. Back of the quarter panel, and Larson gets into the wall, but he keeps it going straight.
They were battling to be the first car one lap down to be in the pre-pass position.
Yeah, they're just really, really tight racing right there. You can tell that A.J. Allmendinger got in there and he sort of drifted up. The front of his car didn't quite stick, and it got right to the corner of that rear bumper on Larson.
Arrow loose.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't put a piece of paper between them.
Too much. That air got him. Pit road will be open this time, but with 69 laps to go, looks like we'd still be looking at one more stop. Are they coming or staying out? Lead lap cars are in. Matt.
And Matt Kenseth, the yellow 20 car, he's got that first stall off pit road. Now, we may see some right side tires only here. Looking at where we are pit sequence-wise, chassis adjustment from Kenseth, he said the car just started to take a swing to the tight side. Meanwhile, Kevin Harvick, he's saying the same thing as well. We've got a lot of cloud cover right now, Jamie.
And the only adjustment the 22 has made all day is an air pressure adjustment. They do that again. They take 4 tires. It was a last-minute call to come down pit road, Vince.
Going to be a chassis adjustment for Kurt Busch, and right side tires only a little too snug for the 41.
Heard about this video. I wanted to watch it. I want to give you guys the first reactions.
Matt Kenseth. First off pit road, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, Big Gators. Misha Tate had a big night last night here in Las Vegas. We'll be here after this.
Too much.
Find out more about this first-of-its-kind vehicle at Domino'sDXP.com. This just got interesting. Why pause to take a pill? Or stop to find a bathroom? Cialis for daily use is approved to treat both erectile dysfunction and the urinary symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently day or night. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and
medicines and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension, as it may cause...
Hey guys, LaserJet here. And what am I doing right now?
Side effects may
I'm sitting on a sofa. Oh wait, you guys are American.
Get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis and a $200 savings card.
What truck company do you think offers best-in-class V8 fuel economy, best-in-class V8 horsepower, and best-in-class V8 towing? Jamie? I'm going with Ram. Definitely Ford. The new 2016 Chevy Silverado offers best-in-class V8 fuel economy, horsepower, and towing. They're all Chevy.
It's truck month. Get a total value of $7,500 on this Silverado All-Star with a 5.3-liter V8. Plus, find your tag and get $1,000 cash allowance on select Silverado models in stock. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
To some people, a number is just a number. Well, not to the ones who cheered it on through 4 championships, or the ones who sweat through every lap for it, and most certainly not the ones who permanently attach themselves to it, scream at the top of their lungs for it, and even decorate their homes with it. No, this isn't just a number. This is 24.
The Kobalt 400 on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads. We're under caution with 67 to go in Las Vegas. Last night here in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand, UFC Fight Night on FS1 in pay-per-view. A stunning upset by Miesha Tate. Here's Jamie.
The UFC bantamweight world champion Miesha Tate for the first time, and she just rolled into the racetrack. It's great to see you back here. Congratulations, champ. Let's talk a little bit about NASCAR, though. Your boy's in second.
He is. I'm so excited. I'm pumped. I'm glad I was able to make it here. I had so much going on this morning, but I did not want to miss this race for anything. So, go Harvick, Team KHI, all the way.
Enjoy it for sure. And Kevin Harvick, of course, lost 2 spots on that last pit stop, but he is the management that represents Miesha Tate.
And he's in 4th place right now.
Well,
we've talked about the weird weather today. A sandstorm south of the Speedway at Nellis Air Force Base has gathered steam, and now we can't see Nellis Air Force Base from our position at the top of the control tower. So they are holding the field for a lap or two, hoping this big dust devil blows through. Here's Kyle Busch's team.
The wind has changed direction. It's going from start finish to turn 3.
Yes. Yes, it has. And that's the way the coming at us. Oh, shit.
I guess maybe it has changed direction. What's it about to say? Maybe it has turned a little bit like they were saying, but one
look
thing's
at
for
the
sure.
There are hills and mountains back there. You can hardly see.
We had trouble for over 850 miles.
Welcome to the South Pole.
If you're Dora the Explorer, come explore. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Headgear and everything going around. Now, somewhere in there, that's Cole Perrin getting all but knocked over by the car cover. He's working undercover. Denny Hamlin, Ricky Stenhouse had umbrella blow-ups.
I think Hamlin did that for our cameras. He so casually opened it up. He knew it was going to open up upside down like that. And that was...
That's a live shot here. Looks like hurricane season in South Florida. Our radio remix is all about the wind.
Wind blows hard as hands all day. We got a constant breeze into turn 3, but nothing fast. Hello, flag. We're not going to have our overhead sign like I talked about, so we'll just have to make sure to do a good job on the pit road sign. The wind on the nose is making the car a little positive. There's a lot of trash out here. Keep an eye on the grill.
The sandstorm has now made its way to the middle of the back straightaway. And look what it's done to Michael Waltrip's hair.
Does he look confused?
I'm sorry, I thought that was a shot of it.
Oh, you know it's not fires because, like I said in the pre-race show, it's never moved.
That was 2 weeks ago in Florida. But now this sandstorm has gone off the back straightaway, and we're ready to go green. 6 drivers took the wave around.
Willy bum bum.
There was no free pass. Kyle Larson was in that position, and he was the caution. We'll restart with 64 laps to go. And Kyle Larson is in 4th place. Kyle Larson is 4th. 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 Kyle Larson is 4 Kenseth gets the jump on Jimmy Johnson.
Look at Kyle. Yeah, come on, Kyle. Pass him.
Out of the fog into the smog. Wow. Look at that. We can hardly see the cars.
You can hear Jimmy Johnson got it through the gears.
Oh, there's water on the lens, guys.
The boy, he held it wide open all the way through turns 1 and 2. Was able to complete that pass on the outside of Kyle Busch.
Yeah, I don't think that 48 car was very happy back in traffic. He loved it when he was out front, and that's where he's trying to get to now. 3 wide, mid-pack, Kane, Newman, Keselowski, all fighting for position.
Look at the debris, the sand. I've never seen these kinds of conditions in one day.
Saw something like this back in the 80s in Ontario, California. Couldn't even see from one turn to the next. Very similar to today. Couldn't see Mount Baldy off the backstretch. See anything. Well, they can see Matt Kenseth. They can see him pulling away. Boy, Matt needs to win a race. He needs to get running up. His trouble didn't just start at Daytona when he got past by the Hamlin. His trouble started last year in the fall race at Charlotte. And from there on, it was trouble after trouble after trouble.
Now you're embarrassed because it's in front of me. I'm a dead.
There's a great battle between two brothers, the Busch brothers. Now this, to me, is why Kyle Busch and that 18 team are past champions. They have fought through so much from last year, going through all the adversity, and then this year they haven't been fantastic. Certainly this weekend, and yet here they are in the third position.
Dale Jr. with Chase Elliott behind him on the bottom, Ryan Blaney, and the 19 of Carl Edwards, and in the middle, Paul Menard.
Look at all that.
Oh, baby, hold on, forward.
Look at this, look at this. They're gonna end up killing each other.
That's almost a pass in the grass right there, boys.
Carl Edwards is going to lose a lot of positions right here.
I'm Terry with a Y.
Blaney in that 21 car, he keeps fighting back.
Hello, I'm Terry with a Y. And I'm Terry with an I.
See Keselowski back there in the 2 car trying to fight his way back to the front. He lost a lot of momentum there. Hope he didn't scrape the wall coming off, too.
You know, it's interesting. We talked about those RCR cars being really good all weekend long. We haven't seen much out of them today, and I know the 3-car Boston Dillon had trouble. But now they're starting to come back to the front. But here's a real battle over Jimmy Johnson on Matt Kenseth. Jimmy's using that outside line to get some momentum.
That 48 car is pretty awesome right now. Whatever they did last stop, they undid this stop, and that thing is going to the front.
And that's not going to make it easy on him. He's going to make it work for it. That 48. He chose that outside lane. Jimmy's on the inside lane.
Yeah, that 48 is good on the bottom, Jeff. He just hooks that bottom and goes on.
Now we've got to remember, all these cars took 2 tires all the way back to Logano. That's your first car on 4 tires. So while these guys are battling it out, those guys are trying to make their way up there and close that gap.
I think that little bit of hesitation on Jimmy's part are the bumps. Can't just jump back in the throttle and get through there sometimes.
I also think Jimmy, he's notorious for running a free race car. When he gets underneath Matt Kenseth, he needs all the racetrack he can get to complete that pass.
Yeah, he's still in 3 and 4, and I think he's going to clear Matt here and pull up in front of him, and he'll be on his way.
He got an incredible run through the center of 3 and 4, and I think Matt maybe had to check up a little bit off of turn 4 right there.
It just looks like he had to check up or decided not to challenge him.
It could be the win.
You know, I really think that the 20's better than 1 and 2, but the 48 is stellar in 3 and 4. Watch him accelerate through here and pull away. Teammates, 4th place. Harvick and Kurt Busch that close, Vince. Kurt Busch's car has been so good throughout the course of the day that maybe a bit of an issue now.
We're checking. He goes back to the pit crew. He goes to his video, and he checks to make sure that they got every lug nut tight. That they confirm, yes, we got them all tight. They feel confident in it. Then they check that off the box. It's something else.
Hey Siri,
What's happened in a number of these
is it raining in Las Vegas?
With this storm, this sandstorm, the track
No.
down, the cars have changed a
Pause.
little bit. It's suiting some and not so much for others. And the wind
Is it raining in Las Vegas?
That flagpole on the backstretch has been bending and almost over.
I think it's going to be permanently bent after this race.
it's held up all day the way it's mowed over now. Second place, teammates again, this time
Come on,
for
Kyle.
Jim Gibbs Racing.
Just
Faster.
never count out Kyle Busch.
No kidding. You know, he drove last week, I said like a champion. Started in the back, worked his way to the front, finished third. Today, another really patient drive to the front and get that good top three finish. Greg Biffle makes the stop.
Daddy has sent me to the bowl. Is it finished?
Trouble turn 4, car spinning.
Oh, jeez.
Are you done with the bowl?
Yeah.
Can you give it to me?
No, you can go get it.
Regan Smith.
Oh, Kyle Larson again.
Jesus, two of these.
Balls.
Not
One
the
of them's
kind of
yours.
start to the year that Kyle Larson
I
and
just
Chicken
stole
House
it. I don't
Racing
know.
wants.
Remember, Larson had some damage.
Balls. Oh my God, that's a lot of damage. You can go get the ball.
I don't know what happened to him up here. We'll have to take a look and
It's
see.
eating.
With the double J.
Greg Biffle has just come on to pit road.
The one for 48.
Jimmy Johnson?
Yeah, that guy that drives the loose car.
Oh, bro.
Oh, jeez. G's and balls.
42 in the smoke.
Always Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, really hard to say from that angle. A lot of smoke. Obviously, something happened earlier getting into the corner.
Smith was 24. Larson was another lap down in 34. Yeah, I think Larson was just caught in that smoke bag. You see him spinning back there, and then there's just so much smoke. You know, it doesn't look like it from here, but when you're in the car, it's just hard to see.
And I'm just wondering if Larson knew how much damage he had to that right rear.
Yeah, I wonder.
And when he got in there, he tried to lean on it a little harder than it was capable of, and the car came around. You can see all the tape there on the quarter pound where they tried to repair it.
Yep.
When you damage that right rear quarter pound, there's so much side force that comes into that panel, and how the air moves underneath the car. You see all the damage there as well in the rear bumper. You lose a lot of grip that way.
I think if they stop now, they can make it the rest of the way. 52 laps to go. Watching our
I have to
coverage
save.
provided by Goodyear, superior performing tires.
And
to
if
face
you have a green
challenging
light check
conditions on the track and on the road. Goodyear, official tire of NASCAR. Pit road is not yet open.
Oh, no.
And we'll get you up to date with his Busch race summary. Jimmy Johnson is the first of 25 cars on the lead lap. 9 different drivers have led this race. 16 lead changes, 5 cautions so far for 22 laps.
Here's where this can get interesting. Does the 48 take 4 tires since they took 2 the last time? Does Logano take 2 tires because he took 4 last time? And some others may be able to take 2 as well.
We've seen it go both ways. We saw the 48 take 2 and maintain the lead. We saw the 11 take 2, not so good. What do you think, Larry?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Everyone can make it from here, hitting here on fuel, so take that out of the equation. But our top 6 drivers right now, they changed this right, which gives them 23 laps on their left right now. Joey Logano back there in 7th. He's the first driver with 4 tires with only 11 laps on his tires. I think if you're one of those that changes 4 tires like Logano, you change 2 here and you're going to be in good shape.
I think you're right, Larry. A couple of raindrops on the backstretch as this big cloud works its way over
That's not good.
The racetrack and sends that dust storm off to the north. Just a little nugget real quick. The first 5 drivers are all changed. Little Kyle Busch audio here. Here they come, Matt.
And that was a discussion on the radio by a number of teams, 2 versus 4, because they can go the 4 on here. And they're talking about for Kansas City. His car was extremely tight due to that wind, but then against the wicked 3, they went to the 48. They're going 2 as well. Harvick, chassis adjustment, 2. Vince. You can see it, Kyle Busch. It's going to be left sides only for Busch. A little tape on the grill as well for the 18.
Out and away.
Note that both of the Penske cars stayed out.
Come on, you can beat, no, Pete Johnson. Woo! That's incorrect. That is incorrect.
Talk about gambling, man.
That is incorrect. He beat Matt Kenseth off of there.
Anybody would have stayed out there.
That is incorrect. That is incorrect. I'm going to throw a fit about it.
Miscue and the speeding penalty. No wow.
50 laps to go in Las Vegas. Don't go away. We won't either.
Oh my God.
Pushing like that, what are you going to do?
Please don't go for me or something.
Can I get your autograph?
Yeah, sure.
I can't wait to show my grandson.
Hey kid, pal, friend, yo rook, newbie, hey wolf, number 20, number 3, 16, here, no one's gonna know your name until you make them know it. Names are made here. The NASCAR Xfinity Series, live from Phoenix, Saturday at 2 on Fox.
Oh, oh. No sweating in the bed. Oh, something in my on yeah. Oh, who got something and driving and Kyle Busch, fans and screaming and trucks and fire and yeah. I was king of the world. Toyota. Guys,
$1 technology.
Oh, technology. Say, have you seen all the amazing technology in Geico's mobile app?
Mobile app?
Look, electronic ID cards, emergency roadside service. I can even submit a claim.
Wow.
Yep, Geico's mobile app works on a charm.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more. Okay, we're different. We have no ball or goal to put it in. We pass, but we don't hand off or punt. We don't play. We race.
Man.
49 laps to go in Las Vegas under caution. The Penske Fords pitted with 68 laps to go. That's a long way to go if they intend to do it on one tank of fuel. Jamie Little's in the leader's pit.
That's water that I see on the lens.
Decided to stay out. Why?
Weather coming. We're pretty close on fuel. This caution will be.
Guys, I think it's raining.
Pretty close. It's got back there at 7th or 8th and couldn't really drive forward. So, wait up the plate for us. Obviously, 2 cars thought so too.
All right, they're looking at another couple laps of caution. They should be good, thanks.
Joey Logano, his teammate Brad Keselowski, and Austin Dillon.
Guys, I really badly want to call you the nickname
that we have.
That I have for you guys, but I'm not going to do it till we get to 1,000 subscribers. I don't care if it's on my main channel, my vlog channel, a mix of both. I don't really care. I just want 1,000 subscribers and I'll start calling you that.
Mike, we're now looking at the calm after the storm. But Rodney, have you ever seen anything like that? I saw your laptops flying up in the air. Yeah, we had one of them laying on the ground. The other ones, they all closed on us. But
it's raining. Sure. They can't go back racing.
Jimmy John Chevrolet's been fast all day. We just
I think it's over, guys.
Right now, track position or
we're past halfway, so they can call it.
Out here and hopefully do the best we can. Mike?
In the pre-dawn hours, the local Jimmy John's delivered 1,800 box lunches for track workers. Wow, and there's so much debris going around right now. Look at it all over the racetrack.
Look at all that.
What a mess. I don't think I've ever experienced anything quite like this.
All the grass.
That's Matt Kenson.
The wind is probably blowing harder than it's blown all day. Still from the front stretch to the back stretch.
We can't go back racing like this.
There a couple times. Haven't had that all day. It really does a lot.
That's spotter Curtis Markham.
It's already 6:30, by the way. The vlog is up. Yesterday's vlog is up.
Everything into consideration. The number of caution laps, the weather. They might be able to make it. It's worth the gamble. What do you think, Larry?
Well, I'm sitting here doing math. In the wild card, we have no idea how much fuel they can save. But a track
well, all I know is that they can't go back to racing like this.
2-to-1
whether they're gonna bring them down pit road or not, they can't go back racing like this.
199. We have seen about 10 caution laps. I think if somewhere they can run another 4 or 5, maybe 6 caution laps, I think they'll be there.
Guys,
Here's when those 3
the log is up.
pit road and the rest of the field on lap 217. Now, before they stayed out on the caution, Logano was 7th, Keselowski was 13th, and Austin Dillon was 17th, all back there in traffic and in dirty air. Yeah, Mike, even if we went back to green right now, and I don't think we are, but even if we did, you know weather's coming, so you're probably not going to have to run that 47 laps.
So it's always risk versus reward, and I think for them, they were in a position it was worth taking the risk. If they get enough cautions, then it's going to pay off for them.
Check on one other driver that caution maybe played into his hands.
And Mike, that's the 41 of Kurt Busch. We reported before the caution that he was experiencing a vibration when he was running up top under load. We even heard the radio. Well, they got in, found out when they made the tire change that he had a loose right front. So that caution was right on time. A big break for the 41.
Keep in mind that 2 of the 3 drivers at the front of the pack recovering from speeding penalties. Evidently, they went to traffic school over the last 100 laps and now find themselves in a position to win. One more lap before we go green.
I don't think we can go green.
Recap, and you've shown the weather, how crazy it's been all in a span of 4 hours, from rain to wind, the gusts officially up to 43 miles per hour, the sandstorm, debris on and around the track, right? Keselowski with an early maneuver. He had to run 18 laps earlier in this race. Jimmy Johnson has led the most laps here, passing Joe Logano earlier for the lead. In fact, Johnson has led 4 times.
Okay.
Lap 198 to turn to a caution with Allmendinger and Kyle Larson.
These 2 are battling for the free pass to get back on the lead lap.
And then the Regan Smith with Larson.
Yeah, Larson's car got damaged when he was racing with Allmendinger, and he gets in an accident again. Regan Smith, tough day for that 42 car.
And so Jack Tenhouse, crew chief for the 48, Mike, telling the pit crew, be careful standing on the wall. If the wind blows you over, it'll be a penalty. That's funny, but accurate, Mike.
Oh, absolutely. If you get onto pit road too soon, as that car's coming in, that is a penalty. I mean, look at those guys. They're getting all blown around in the pits and they're setting down. Think if you were standing on the wall. That could easily happen. Austin Dillon and his team talking about fuel.
1-6 get cleared out of here. Rolling out early is going to be the biggest thing to save us gas. Right now, 1 lap short.
You can do it. You can make it.
Yeah, right now they're just going to think about running hard. I think I hear what they're saying, but that's going to come a little bit later. I think they're really hoping for more caution to really be able to save that fuel. And by the way, while they're thinking about what they're going to do on fuel, Jimmy Johnson's sitting there with fresher tires saying, I need to attack right away.
High marks for our Fox camera people. That's Michael Drano. He's pear-shaped, so he is gravity-aided. But look at him getting blown around up there, as is Nelson Hastings and all of our great cameramen giving you these great pictures at home. Kevin Clark, our chief spotter, and look at this crowd. They sense something really big is about to happen. With 44 laps to go, they come to the restart. Ford's on the front.
Okay, we're going back to green.
Chevy's row 2, Dillon and Johnson.
40 go when you go back to green.
Harvick, Truex, Earnhardt, leading the top 10.
Look at all that debris. We can't be back racing right now.
Kyle Busch making a move to the
Keselowski's
outside,
the leader.
on the outside of
Look
Jimmy
at Dillon in
Johnson,
third.
Jimmy gets loose.
Oh, there's Kyle. Kyle's with the third now. Look at him. Get past him. Yeah, yes, yes.
What a move. Wow.
Awesome.
That was incredible. This crowd is going nuts seeing a hometown guy getting after it.
Yes.
Hometown guy, then he made the move he made. Amazing move.
What's 267 minus 44?
That was incredible. Whoa, get ready.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no. Holy crap. Who is that? Is that Carl Edwards? My weekend is gone now.
Not to spin out, but then, unfortunately, those behind him just could have get slowed down.
Look at that. Look at that. I knew we couldn't go back racing. I'm glad that it's Matt Kenseth, but look at that. Chase Elliott. I hope Matt Kenseth is all right, but like.
No luck in Vegas this week.
He's not had much luck.
There's Carl Edwards. My prediction for this week is gone. Really, that sucks. Not that that happened, but everyone else. I mean, I will say I'm glad Matt's okay, but I'm glad he wrecked. 200, 201.
Oh, the 21 dove in behind him. When he got in behind him,
Look at that, look at that. He just slowed down. Ooh, zoom. Chase Elliott, there's Kurt Busch. Look at Carl Edwards.
Carl Edwards spins and connects.
The 95 had to slow down.
24 Chase Elliott. A lot of damage to that 20 car.
They just got all wadded up coming down here in the corner, and I didn't see any way they were going to make it.
Yeah, this is at that point in the race where nobody's going to check
out.
Oh, gee, everybody's got to run hard to get every single position they can.
How'd anybody get through that smoke screen behind them? Well, they've been running a dust storm, so I guess a little smoke didn't hurt anything. That's true. Let's ride with Kevin Harvick.
Harvick involved? No, that would really suck. And he made it by. Oh, look at that.
Well, mayhem behind him.
But it certainly had a front row to that one. Yeah, it looked like the 41 truck was inside the 19 and
no room.
They made no room. They made contact.
Look at that.
Not any room. Saw Clint Boyer go down on the apron to miss this. We're going to ride with him next.
Clint Boyer and Mayhem in front of him. Nice job.
Good job.
Great job by that.
Good job, spotter.
There's Murray.
Brett Griffin for Clint Boyer. Here's Kenny Mack.
And Mayhem.
Jamie had to be careful because he had Dale Earnhardt Jr. right on his inside.
Oh, this is a good view.
Tyler Green with Murray spotter. Nice job.
Look at those clouds. Here I am.
So we are back under
Big huge crash happens. Look at those clouds. That's totally me.
And look at Kyle Busch's restart.
Oh, I thought that was
Busch
really
assistant. He is the king of doing this. He
Yeah.
will go to the outside when nobody else dares to.
I was surprised Jimmy didn't block that outside of the
Yeah, but seriously, like here I am. You know, there's a big crash happening. Watching a replay of a big crash happening, and here I am. Look at the clouds.
Look at that momentum
Like,
that's carried by the 18, and the 22 and 2 are racing. Teammates are racing side by side. Stalled them out and allowed that 18 to get the lead.
You know what they said, the 2 and the 22? Where did he come from? No kidding.
They were worried about one another. They should have been worried about Kyle Busch behind them.
What a start. A postscript on Chase Elliott. He had been in 9th place. But because he took 4 tires, he restarted back in the pack 24th.
Nothing better than a team when
you know, a big crash happens, and I'm watching the replay from the ground, and I'm like, holy crap, look at the clouds. Like a big crash happening, and I'm like, oh my god, the clouds. Look at those. Look at those clouds. Yeah, they're all gray.
What a nice break for the 3 drivers who didn't pit on the last caution.
Yeah, Mike, I think this caution here will put them in the window where they can make it, because prior to this, we had 13 laps of caution. We're probably going to be 18 or 19 laps of caution. That should get them there.
Casey Mears gets the free pass as cleanup continues. 40 laps to go. Don't go away.
People know me as Dale Earnhardt Jr. race car driver, but there's more to me than that. In my office, they call me boss man. Scout the talent, close the deals, do it all with a firm handshake. Gentlemen, to others, I'm water cooler Dale. Steve still hasn't accepted my friend request.
He has really high standards.
And he doesn't check it. I'm friends with everyone but him in the office.
It's so Steve. Don't worry about it.
Are you guys friends with him?
Oh, no, we're friends with him.
So, for protecting my small business and more, Nationwide is on your side. I was made in the shadows of greatness, shaped by the hands of legacy, forged in the fires of racing. I've been challenged, tested, and proven. Whether it's on that track or off.
some of the biggest names in college basketball. How it evolves.
Big crash happens, and I'm watching the replay from the ground, and I'm like, holy crap, look at the clouds. Like a big crash happening, and I'm like, oh my god, the clouds. Look at those clouds. Yeah, they're all gray. You know, a big crash happens, and I'm watching the replay from the ground, and I'm like, holy crap, look at the clouds. Like a big crash happening, and I'm like, oh my god, the clouds. Look at those clouds. Yeah, they're all gray. You know, a big crash happens, and I'm watching the...
Free from the App Store. Okay, we're different. We have no ball or goal to put it in. We pass, but we don't hand off or punt. We don't play. We race.
Laps to go. Cleanup continuing in turn 1. Matt Kenseth got loose, saved it, got hit by Chase Elliott as everybody scrambled down in turn number 1. Jamie?
Matt Kenseth had a good day going. Started third, led 10 laps today. We're going to show you the replay right now. Matt, just take us through what happened there.
Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, I know the end result, but I was just going off into turn 1. I thought Martin was leaving me plenty of room, and I just turned off in there, and it spun out before I really honestly knew what happened. So, you know, I don't know why it spun out, but it spun out. I just tried to save the car the best I could here, and just got hit from behind real hard and ended up wrecking it. So I thought I had it straightened out, but it's hard for those guys behind you to slow up.
Thanks, Matt. Vince?
Yeah, definitely unfortunate for the 24. Chase Elliott had such a good car throughout the course of the day. What was your perspective on how that unfolded?
Just disappointing, man. What a fast race car. I appreciate everybody working hard. I feel like we made a lot of gains this weekend, and just a terrible job on my behalf, man. It's pitiful to run 3 races and finish 1. So just a bad job on my end, and I don't know better to miss a wreck like that.
What could you have done? Do you feel like there was something you could have done?
Yeah, got off the brake and missed him.
Thanks, Chase.
Yeah, unfortunately, frustration for Chase Elliott. I really don't know if there's a whole lot he could have done. I understand he's beating himself up. They haven't had the best start, but I really think that there was really no place for him to go other than maybe run to the middle lane. I don't think anything was going to help him get to the outside of the 20.
You know what I loved about that interview? It reminded me of the talk to his dad back in the day. He was so honest, always took the blame on himself. Sounded exactly like Bill did back in the day. He ran 191 laps in the top 10 today. He's out of the race now. Madison Square Garden will be home to some of the biggest names and best teams in college hoops, battling for a ticket to the big dance. It's the Big East Tournament.
Hey Siri,
on FS1, it continues.
Give me the directions to Madison Square Garden.
And streaming live on Fox Sports Go, sponsored by Jeep Renegade. It's how we live.
I'm not actually going to Madison Square Garden.
1 lap to go to the restart, Matt.
Where's Madison Square Garden?
Was a saver big time for Team Penske. Now, Paul Wolf told me they were 3 to 4 laps short on fuel making it to the end. As soon as that caution came out, Chad Kanowski on the radio and told Jimmy Johnson, caution, now we're racing both Penske cars to the finish.
Yeah.
37.
Give me directions to Apple Maps. Who are you?
Today. We're going to add 1 lap.
Apple Maps suck.
And then we'll come back on 1 to go. So you have a Toyota in front, 2 Fords, then a couple of Chevrolets, and this could be the final restart.
But what I find interesting about this is Kyle Busch chose
Look
the
over that
outside lane.
screen.
He just took the lead from all the momentum he carried by taking Jimmy Johnson 3 wide there on the outside. Now he's chosen, this is the first time I've seen this all day where the leader chose the outside lane.
But remember how he sailed that outside to get that momentum to go down the back? I think he'll feel like he's got the 22 pinned down, and he'll be able to accelerate off to get that good run down the back.
Should make for a great battle side by side down in 1 and 2 between him and the 22 car. This is going to be fun.
Kyle Busch will have Austin Dillon behind him, while Joey Logano will have his teammate Brad Keselowski behind him. And we'll get 1 to go this time.
Yeah, I think you're going to be looking for a big push from that 2 car, that 22, but he can't beat up to the line by too much. You know, he's got to be real careful. He doesn't jump in that box too early. He can pass him, or at least be ahead of him a slight bit at the line, but NASCAR's looking at that, and it's a judgment call of whether he jumped the start. There's a big difference between jumping the start and coming at the green and going at the same time as that leader, but then rolling your momentum ahead.
All right, we'll show you the restart boxes that come around. What's Brad Dylan.
Yeah, I got the timing right. I have no idea how the 18 got that big of a car. Did he come from the top or the bottom, Joe? He was on top. He was on the top lane through the center exiting.
As you said, where he come from.
I think when they go back to watch this, they're going to see that by them running side by side and Kyle Busch having that momentum on the top, that it really stalled them out more so than it was his huge run. It certainly looked like a big run, and it was a good one, but the combination of them getting stalled out running side by side is also a big factor in the point.
You heard him shutting the engine off to save fuel under caution, Jamie.
And I just asked Todd Gordon, crew chief, or Joey Logano if they're good to go. He said, this is what we needed. We're good to go by 3 laps.
It's amazing how much fuel they can save under caution. As soon as that caution came out, I guarantee you they were shutting the engine off, just coasting, and making up a lot under caution.
I just think it shows how smart these crew chiefs are. They know when they get in a certain window, they know that they can make it, they gamble, and they go for it. 23 cars on the lead lap. You're going to
We're going to go back to 35 to go.
Here we go.
Okay. Oh, look at that. He pulled right back.
Kyle Busch got shot out of a cannon. He leads Logano, Keselowski,
Awesome.
Johnson, and Blaney. Yeah, you get a restart like that. It doesn't matter which lane you start in. I mean, he took off.
Yeah, Logano really didn't get the start.
No, I think he was holding off for 34 laps. The longest 34 laps in my life.
Side by side.
No, the longest 34 laps in my life were the final 34 laps of last season.
Johnson fourth, Keselowski third, Logano chasing
But
Kyle Busch.
it's all about now. And right now, this is the longest 34 laps in my life.
Let's go back to 10th place and go for an inside ride in traffic with Dale Jr.
Still there. One more good corner.
Clear, clear.
The ground. And I'm like, holy crap, look at the clouds. Like a big crash happening, and I'm like, oh my god, the clouds. Look at those. Crash happens, and I'm watching the replay from the ground. And I'm like, holy crap, look at the clouds. Like a big crash happening, and I'm like, oh my god, the clouds. Look at those. Look at those clouds. Getting all gray.
After nationwide inside ride.
And I'm watching the
Let's go
replay.
to third place. Brad Keselowski being chased by Jimmy Johnson.
Now remember, they took 2 tires on that last stop. The 2 of the 22 didn't come in to pit on that last one, so a little bit fresher tires not only limited Kyle Busch, but also Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, I didn't want to see this camera.
Closer to Kyle Busch.
I saw this camera in practice yesterday, and it was awesome.
He's in 11th place. A lot of sunshine getting low on the windshield there down into one. 30 laps to go as they come around.
Yeah, longest 30 laps in my life.
Teammates battle for ninth.
Yes. Casey Kane's done a nice job of rebounding. He got a little bit further back earlier, but he's hanging in there. All the Hendrick cars have been pretty solid.
And if you guys saw yesterday's vlog, Kyle Busch won the Xfinity race yesterday. And I knew that if he won that race, it would help him out today. And it's his home track. I mean, this would be an awesome win. It really would.
I think the track temps have come down some. It's been kind of
But
overcast here for a little while. And it's time
he's
to
been leading since lap 223, 60, no, 45 to go, I think. I'm not sure. I think about it. Hey Siri, what's 267 minus 220? No, Siri. What's 267 minus 223? No, oh my god. What's 267 minus 233? Oh my god. What is 267 minus 223?
On the roof saying this is the worst the wind has been all day, and the direction has shifted. It's now coming from turn 1 diagonally across the track to turn 3. So our cameras are jumping around a little bit in the wind here. Matt.
shades of Kansas last year for Ryan Blaney when he finished second. Good, solid top 10 effort going right now. But what you're seeing is a culmination of a lot of expense and effort with the program. They made the alliance last year with Team Penske.
You know, it's going to, like, rain on off today. I wouldn't mind if it just rains right now and just pours. It'd probably be just the easiest way out, but, you know, once I want it, it's not going to happen. Like, now I want the rain, and it's not coming.
What a turnaround for the Busch brothers, neither of whom raced here last year. Kurt Busch was under suspension. Kyle Busch was in a hospital bed, recuperating from a hard crash in the Saturday race at Daytona. He would not return to the track until May, but he came back with a vengeance, winning the Sprint Cup championship. Vince.
Well, and remember, this team has struggled throughout the course of this weekend. I mean, they were out on Friday.
Might have to get the old broom out for Kyle Busch this weekend. One yesterday and on his way today.
Hey, great battle. I've been watching 78, the 88, the 5 here. The 88 was right on his corner coming down the front straightaway this last time by. Got to the inside, but the 78, Mark Church Jr. just fighting him hard for this position.
No, Sophia! Check out my Instagram post. Look at my Instagram post.
I love Instagram.
Get Instagram.
I'm not allowed to.
Oh my god, she's grumpy. Get Instagram and then see my post. Oh my god. Sophia. Sophia. Sophia.
Jimmy Johnson could get that position.
First three cars are 29, 36, 35, and 34. Those first three guys throw a blanket over them lap time. 22 laps to go. This time by. You're watching Fox NASCAR coverage from Las Vegas.
Millions have switched and discovered the Sprint network really is faster. Plus, it's more reliable with better coverage than ever. To celebrate, we're extending our offer so you can save 50% on most rates from Verizon.
No more overpay.
AT&T.
Bye-bye, Big Joe.
Or T-Mobile.
I'm done with feeling anxiety.
We'll even cover your cost to switch up to $650 per loan.
$650? Really?
Yep, so switch today.
I was king of the world.
Okay, we're different.
I'm sorry, I just had to do my mocking to that song.
We pass, but we don't hand off or punt. We don't play. We race.
Kobalt tools are made for the big jobs, like this and this. Not so much this or this. Nope. Yes. 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 Definitely.
Now get a free battery with your purchase of select Kobalt outdoor power equipment.
19 laps to go. Kyle Busch leads in Las Vegas. Yesterday, to put it politely, he stunk up the show. The only lap he did not lead in yesterday's Xfinity race was when he pitted. But don't engrave the trophy just yet. Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski are closing in. And pretty quick, too. The last couple laps, they've cut 3 or 4 tenths off of that lead. And that 2 and 22 look like they got something working here now.
See, Dale Jr. finally gets by Mark Church Jr., but I tell you what, here's what's going to happen here. These guys have to be careful. They're going to battle it out for second, but if they stay in line, I saw the 18 of Kyle Busch searching around the racetrack a couple laps. You know what that means? He's searching for speed. I think he's starting to lose the handle a little bit on that car out front. If these guys play it smart, they can run him down.
The numbers to watch are right up here. If those numbers are getting smaller, obviously, they are gaining on the leader.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but we still got 17 laps to go and plenty of time to get there.
We're seeing about a
Holy crap, it's only 17 to go.
game by these two.
Well, you can just
Oh my god, I used to...
out the two. When they get that little bit of wind down the back, they really make a big run down the back.
Black car stays high, won't be effective.
This is going to be really close when they go by this time, guys.
It's going to be all
Oh, I thought I heard a crash happen.
working the
No,
air,
this
working
way.
the different lanes.
Another 10, about a 10th and a half.
Pagano's getting hungry right now. You can tell he's getting up on the wheel.
And you saw the 18, they went high in 1 and 2 that time. Had been running that line the last several laps. Now he's searching.
Joey now. Bush pulls away a bit to the back straightaway.
Does he have some debris on the grill?
Legging it out. Don't worry about it. That's
Oh my god.
Enough laps make any difference. It'll be fine. Make you go faster. Now this time, Bush extended his lead by a 1/10 of a second.
Not much. He did it all right down here in 1 and 2. When he moved up, see where he is now? When he moved up to that line, he opened that gap back up.
So last lap, Jimmy Johnson was the fastest car. 61. He and Austin Dillon, who's 2.5 back. But this is what you love.
Sophia.
This one, the spotter, the crew chief, and the driver, you got to do something. They're gaining on you. Look around, find another line. And he did, and it's healthy. Here comes Brad. He thinks he's faster than
He is
Logano.
faster. If he can get by Logano, I think he can run the 18 down. He's just got to find a way by him.
And that lap car altered Kyle Busch's line down in turn 1. 14 to go, coming to 13. I don't know if the race will be close.
Only one lap car further ahead of them that I think will play a factor in this. Other than that's pretty.
Sophia.
Yeah, Brad is starting to move. Brad, he wants to make that move. Vince.
Well, you've documented that Kyle Busch may be searching for something. Well, Kyle just came on the radio and told his crew chief, Adam Stevens, he might have a right front issue.
Oh, no.
But NASCAR is better.
Hang on to it, buddy. You've got 12 to go.
He really slowed down that lap.
But Logano gained no ground because he was trying to hold off Keselowski.
Yeah, but it wasn't as much as I thought. For me, it looked like coming through that corner, he really slowed it down. But maybe he just ran a little bit different line. But Brad Keselowski getting extremely hungry behind Joe Logano.
Ow!
He knows he can go up there and get that lead, or at least battle.
Oh!
You know Brad's got to be telling his partner, tell Joey to let me by. I'm faster than he is, and I can catch that 18. Brad has finished second 5
My leg.
times since his last victory. 11 to go.
There's another 10th for the second they cut off that lap.
They're inching in on him, but that's inching in is not going to be enough, I don't think. Leader pulls up on David Reagan, who drops to the inside. Will not be a factor in Kyle Busch's march toward 10 to go.
Come on. No, Logano, back up. Back up. Yes, back up. Keep losing points and seconds.
10 to go and thinking there's something wrong with the right front.
No, don't gain points and seconds. Don't gain them. Lose them.
Left side tires.
Oh, wow. Now, that really makes this all very interesting. If he's complaining about a right front, did he hurt that right front by getting those left side tires and not getting the right side tires?
It's probably worn. It's probably worn so much he's driving so hard that he thinks something's wrong with that right front. I think it's just tire wear. 0.6 of a second past the wounded car on the inside of Kyle Larson. And hey, boys, it's a four-play. Here comes Jimmy. The 48 of Jimmy Johnson comes into this 4-car now. Battle for the lead.
They just keep inching up.
I'll be back in a minute.
You know, when you leave these races and there's only 10 laps to go, you feel every single tiny little vibration that's in that car, in those tires, in the driveline, in the engine. Everything makes you nervous at this point.
You got to hear
Here comes Brad. I think Joey might give it up this time. I think he stopped it long enough.
Right side door. I need a little. Right side corner. Clear. Fuck up.
All right, good. Now it's a different story. But well, that 2 is faster than the 22. And I believe Brad Keselowski might be able to catch the 18. You know, if Kyle Busch and Keselowski battle, that could even bring Austin Dillon and Ryan Blaney into play. They're about not that far back. But can you...
Oh no, now Brad's skating.
What a great show they have put on today. I'm proud of them boys. Kevin Harvick right in the same straightaway with them. 3.5 back. 7 laps to go. Oh, wow. A third of a second is the lead.
No! No!
Now he's got a new player in this game.
No! No, don't gain points a second, God! Come on, no!
To the start-finish line, finally straightened it up, and that was Michael McDowell.
No, yeah, lose points a second. Come on, Brad.
3 car lengths back.
No!
These 2 drivers right now because he's got to play the
No!
Brad Keselowski, the inside.
No, 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 no! No, no! Come on, Kyle, go! No! Go! 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 Go!
Kyle Busch audio.
It was all ready to go.
Time to go. And the driver who received the loudest noise in pre-race, and they were not cheers, Brad Keselowski has come to the front.
Yeah, I'm really anxious to hear how they respond after this because it's a good
Come
chance
on.
to win this race.
Well, I just think you got speeding penalty, and they were close.
It's like half a second off of him now.
These last few cautions,
Come on.
count fuel totally out of the question.
Or a caution.
Do we have a, yeah, caution. Can we have that?
So Kyle Busch trying to hang on to second. Joey Logano, 4 tenths back of him. Jimmy Johnson, all but on Logano's bumper as they exit turn 2. Austin Dillon, Ryan Blaney, and Kevin Harvick coming. Coming to 3 to go.
So close. Can we have a caution?
You know, watching Brad all weekend long, they qualified much better than they did last weekend, but then they struggled a little bit in practice with their race setup. They've done an incredible job as an organization, really getting prepared and making good adjustments for race day today, and throughout this entire race, keeping themselves in this thing.
Yeah, Brad told me last week the cars were ready. They were not consistent. He said it's one of the things we worked hard on for this
sucks.
weekend is to have a much more consistent car.
Why?
Long. Here we go. If there's going to be a fight right here, it's going to be for second.
Can we have a caution? Come on, like right now, because the caution line, oh my God.
Donald Johnson, all right together, all trailing Brad Keselowski by a second.
It's over.
Into turn number 3.
Come on.
Just got to get off turn 4, get out here and get the white flag. White flag. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
Whatever. Just get me out of here.
Brad Keselowski.
Can something happen? Can you like run out of gas or something? Or like wreck? Oh, really nice job!
Brad Keselowski off turn number 4.
Whatever.
Sprint Cup win. Keselowski to the chip.
I don't even care.
It's Logano second. Johnson
Bull
third
crap.
by inches over Kyle Busch.
Oh, there's Logano's crew over there. Oh, in 4th place! Awesome.
Nothing better than getting that first win of the year.
I don't
Just takes
even
so much
care.
pressure off, you relief, get yourself in the chase, start focusing on that championship and winning more races.
Keselowski's the first driver to rebound from a speeding penalty and go to victory lane since Matt Kenseth did it at Bristol in the summer of 2013. That's pretty impressive.
Look at that. I got so mad that I just threw my water bottle.
How close it was for third between
I think, yeah, there's drops all over my...
Yeah, when Logano got that position
all over there,
and allowed the 48 to get a big run off of turn 4 and get inside the 18 and use the 22 strap.
Whatever, that's just bull crap.
The 18 car was just giving up bad there last 5 or 6 laps. Austin Dillon, top 5, also rebounding from a speeding penalty. Blaney, Harvick, Earnhardt, Kurt Busch, and Casey King in the top 10. Brad will pick up
Oh, nice.
the flag, the American flag.
Hold on tight to that thing, Brad. That wind's really blowing. They've got a little system in there before. You've got a great system where it holds that flag well.
Brad Keselowski takes it home. The checkered flag is today's Sunoco fueling victory. His last win was 33 races ago at Roblox Speedway. It's his second victory at Las Vegas and his 8th win on a mile-and-a-half track. Team Penske, 97 career wins for Roger Penske's organization in NASCAR. Their first of 2016.
Mike, I don't think there's a driver down there that works any harder in planning a race. But they're going to fly together.
Even everything they had to hold that flag, couldn't hold it in with 40 mile per hour gusty winds.
It's pretty windy, and he knows the importance of putting
Oh, he dropped the flag now.
Getting it off
Awesome. Disrespect America and win the race.
Team Penske has had a 1-2 finish in the Sprint Cup Series.
They might have been booing him earlier, but they're cheering him now.
Oh, because he dropped the freaking American flag, now they're cheering him?
Everybody knows the winner. Yes, they will. A lot of pride in that organization that celebrates its 50th year in racing in 2016.
I'm just angry more than anything. I'm not angry, I'm just upset. He came so close to winning it, 7 laps to go, then freaking loses it.
Lowe's presents How to Know She's the One. You're the one for me.
And it comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee.
I won't forget that.
Now get 10% off
Freaking
major appliances
bullcrap.
$3.96 or more at Lowe's.
Allergy medicine not working? Try Nasacort for effective relief. It relieves the worst nasal allergy symptoms, even congestion.
Well,
it's non-addictive, scent and alcohol-free, and has no harsh taste.
I don't know yet.
Allergy relief,
I'm not sure. 0, running. What's 261 minus 223?
Mom? Your dad won't call an exterminator.
Can I call you back, Mom?
He says it's personal this time.
If you're a mom, you call it the worst time.
38.
If you want to save 15% or more
Flat.
on car insurance, you switch to Geico.
And I don't even know.
Where are you? It's very loud there. Are you taking a Zumba class?
How fast are Allegra gel caps? Relief before the movie starts. Fast.
I didn't know you got a cat. Fast.
Non-drowsy Allegra relieves your worst symptoms 2 times faster than Claritin.
We're going out in an hour. Fast.
Allegra gel caps, not just fast, Allegra fast, guaranteed or your money back. Lowe's presents How to Know She's the One.
You're the one for me.
And it comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee.
I won't forget that.
Now get 10% off major appliances $3.96 or more at Lowe's.
You hear that? Look at this. Yep, in this Texas town, spring has sprung. Horsepower and good times collide. The Commander 500. Saturday, April 9th. Texas Motor Speedway, promised land, motor freaking speed.
The victory burnout for the
I don't even care.
Brad Keselowski
This is stupid.
to 38 other drivers. Rain, wind, sandstorm, debris, a speeding penalty on pit road, right? It's his job to go fast. You're supposed to speed. Well, he sped past Kyle Busch in the end with 6 laps to go, making the pass over Kyle Busch for the victory. Let's check in before we hear from Brad Keselowski. Matt Yoakum is with Kyle Busch.
Almost a weekend sweep.
Oh, nice. They already got it updated on Wikipedia. Reminded me of that crap. They already got it updated on Wikipedia. Look at that. Last win.
Huge vibration. I don't know. I had a vibration when we put the rights on, and then it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And there at the end, I didn't know if the tire was coming apart or what the deal was, but I was trying to give it everything I had, and that was all I had. It just would not turn. It just got so tight. That was the tightest we were all day. Ran my track bar up 2 inches, and it didn't do anything. So definitely something wrong. But can't say enough about this whole M&M's team. The guys did a great job. Adam and the guys, they prepared a really good car. We struggled really, really bad this whole weekend.
Kyle Busch came so close to winning, then got passed.
where we should have finished, I guess,
Here's
considering
my
how it started.
water
But,
bottle.
it is a good
Land
day.
right there.
It's not a win,
Water
but,
everywhere.
you know,
There's the
we're
cat.
doing a good job doing what we need to do.
There's some
Top
drops
five
on the
it, and when
screen.
we do that, then the wins will come.
Awesome. Awesome.
So for the third time, we have our third different manufacturer winning. It was Toyota with Denny Hamlin at Daytona, and then in Atlanta, Jimmy Johnson in a Chevy, and there's Brad Keselowski in a Ford Race 3 here in Las Vegas. He had said if racing didn't work out, he would have enlisted. And the reason he always carries the flag, he talks about appreciating the U.S. military and equates that to the opportunities that he's had in our country. He's made the most of the opportunity here in Las Vegas, Michael.
Yeah, he really works with his Fuji Polo. From the setup of this car, they're just really meticulous about every detail. The thing I think most interesting, Chris, is that they came from so far behind yesterday.
The 12th is a victory lap.
He overcame the speeding penalty, gambled on fuel, and celebrates with his team.
Yeah. I don't hate Brad. I don't dislike him or anything. I'm just upset that Kyle Busch lost. And no, I'm not usually like that when he loses, but when he comes that close to winning and then loses.
Yeah, you know, this rules package, I love it. It's awesome. In the cars, you can be
Yeah, you love it because you won.
run or really fast at the end of the run, and we had awesome speed at the end of every run. It seemed like we just never could put it all together with the way the cautions kept flowing, but at the end we got that big long run and couldn't get going for the first few laps, and thought for sure the 48 and a couple others were going to drive by me. Then it finally started to take off with about 25 to go. I was able to get the second, and then as soon as I got to 18, I saw his car falling off in my head, and gosh, thank you so much. Oh, it's just such a good feeling to get back at victory. It's been way too long, and I'm thrilled to be here, Vince. I really am.
How nervous were you when you pitted for that last time and you knew you were about 8 laps short on fuel?
Oh, yeah. I didn't figure anyone would make it, but you kept getting those yellows. Like there was a couple
Taking an overhead shot. Like, just see the freaking drone.
Say plenty of fuel on those, but what a day. I'm beat. I put everything I had into driving this car, and I'm just so thrilled to be back in Victory Lane with Miller Lite Ford and everybody at Team Penske. And gosh, I just wish my daughter was here for this, but it's a long West Coast swing. I can't wait to get home and see her, but this is amazing. Thanks to everybody here at Team Penske. And
yeah, that's right. We got the rest of the freaking season.
With some better stuff, and boy, it paid off. So, as my boss would say, effort equals results.
Hit the jackpot in Las Vegas. Well done, my friend. Brad Keselowski, the winner in Las Vegas.
Cool. Awesome.
Jamie Little.
Joey got up racing in the second, right at the end. There's your first top 5 of the year, Joey, your best finish. Where did your teammates?
Well, I gotta end that now.
He was able to turn so good.
Oh crap! Really? And I step on a freaking bowl. You know what, guys? Let's get a good attitude to end this. I can't. It's freaking too bad. But anyway, guys, I just want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Game's just so freaking close. But yeah. Anyway, please like, subscribe, and comment. Stay strong. Have a fantastic day today, and I will see you later. Actually, let's have Olivia come and say goodbye. Alright, she's in the bathroom. Olivia, can you just say goodbye to the video?
Goodbye, video.
Okay, but we can't go say goodbye to Sophia. Kiss. Hey. Hold on. Say goodbye to this.
Goodbye.
Legit goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh. Yeah. Hey. Good. Thank you guys and girls for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more content. Also, if you want to see my daily life and bloopers for videos just like this video / outro, then go to my vlog channel at Sam Wilson Vlogs. Also, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Vine to see more hella weird stuff. Links and names are in the description below. Also, enjoy your day and stay strong.